Chapter 1. The Howl Beneath the Blood Moon. If I'd known the road would end in blood and moonlight, I never would have worn white. The dress isn't even mine. My cousin insisted I borrow it for the engagement dinner. Soft chiffon, delicate lace. The kind of thing girls in movies wear when they say yes to men they actually love. It feels like a lie sliding over my skin, a costume for a version of me that doesn't exist. I press harder on the gas instead. The narrow mountain road coils ahead of me like a dark spine, the forest rising in jagged silhouettes on either side. Pines crowd the sky, their branches clawing at the low-hanging clouds. My headlights carve thin tunnels through the fog, the beams catching on drifting ash from some distant fireplace. Wind buffets the car, nudging it closer to the sheer drop. My fingers tighten around the steering wheel until my knuckles go numb. "You're being dramatic, Mara," I mutter to myself, voice thin in the cramped interior. "It's just a dinner, just an arrangement, just your entire life." My phone vibrates on the passenger seat, its screen lighting up with my father's name. I ignore it. Another vibration, then another. The phone dances toward the edge of the seat, like it's desperate to throw itself onto the floor and shatter. I grit my teeth and jerk the wheel around a tight bend, the tires skidding briefly on gravel. They didn't even tell me who he is. Not his name, not his face. Just, "It's been decided, Mara. This is how we protect the family. They're powerful, dangerous, yes, but they owe us. You say yes, and we're safe. Betrothed to a stranger to repay a debt I never made. Betrothed to a man from the forest town everyone pretends doesn't exist." Ridgecrest. I glance at the sign as it flashes past, half swallowed by moss and rust. A wolf's head is carved into the wood, teeth bared, weathered by years of rain. My pulse stutters. It's ridiculous. The old stories my grandmother used to whisper when the power went out. Stories about wolves that walked like men, whose eyes glowed silver under the full moon. Wolves that claimed brides. Wolves that tore men apart. Superstition. Folktales. And yet, I've never shaken the feeling that the woods are watching. The phone lights up again, this time with a different name. Unknown caller. I don't know why that makes my skin crawl more than seeing my father's name. I flick my gaze between the screen and the road. Rain starts to fall, sudden and heavy, like the clouds finally gave up pretending they were just mist. The first drops smear across the windshield, then turn into sheets, the wipers struggling to keep up. Thunder rumbles low, building somewhere deep beyond the mountains. The phone keeps vibrating. "Fine," I mutter, snatching it up with one hand while the other keeps a white-knuckled grip on the wheel. I swipe to answer. "Hello?" Static hisses in my ear. Then a distorted voice, male, low and rough, cuts through. "Turn back." I suck in a breath. Who is this? More static. A crackle, like wind tearing across the receiver. "Turn back, Mara." He says my name like a secret. "You don't belong in Ridgecrest. Not tonight." Unease crawls up my spine, cold and sharp. Is this some kind of joke? If my father put you up to... The voice lowers, urgent. "I don't know who you think waits for you up here, but if you keep driving, you won't be meeting him. You'll be meeting..." The line goes dead. Silence floods the car, louder than the storm. My heart slams against my ribs. I hit the callback icon, but the number blinks unavailable and refuses to connect. "Great," I whisper. "Perfect. Creepy prank caller on top of everything else." I toss the phone back onto the seat a little too hard. It bounces, clatters to the floor. slides under my feet exactly as the next bend appears. Shit. I lift my foot to pull back, just as the car hits a slick patch of water and gravel. Everything happens at once. The steering wheel wrenches in my hands. The tires lose grip. The headlights swing wildly, catching a flash of white, fog, rock, eyes, before the world tilts. My body slams sideways, the seatbelt carving into my chest as the car skids across the road, fishtails, and smashes into something hard. Metal screams. Glass explodes inward in glittering, brutal rain. The screech of impact cuts off in a sickening thud. For a moment, there's nothing but the sound of rain hammering on twisted metal. I hang half sideways, the airbag deflated against my chest. My ears ring. The smell of burning rubber and leaking gasoline floods my nose, thick and cloying. Pain blooms slowly, bright and hot, spreading from my left shoulder down my arm. "Mara," I whisper, dazed. "You're an idiot." The driver's side window is shattered, cold wind and mist clawing at my face. The car's front end is crumpled against a tree trunk, the bark splintered like bone. One headlight flickers weakly, casting a stuttering cone of light into the forest. Beyond the trees, something howls. The sound slices straight through my shock. It isn't the distant, echoing cry of some wild animal. It's closer, deeper. It vibrates in my ribs, in my teeth, in the tender places under my skin. It's raw, edged with fury and grief. My lungs seize. Every story my grandmother ever told flares behind my eyes. When the moon bleeds, the wolves choose. When the wolves choose, a life is given. I turn my head toward the windshield, heart pounding. Above the tree line, the clouds part. The moon hangs low and swollen, a rust-red disk smeared across the sky. My breath shudders out. No, that's just eclipse stuff, or atmospheric, whatever. Another howl answers the first. This one higher, more frenzied, closer. Adrenaline blasts through the fog in my brain. I fumble with the seatbelt, fingers slipping on the buckle. It finally releases and I nearly topple forward, catching myself clumsily on the steering wheel with a hiss of pain. My door won't open. It's warped, the frame bent around the tree. I scramble across broken glass to the passenger side, my legs shaking. Every movement sends sharp flares of agony through my shoulder, but fear is louder than pain. I shove the door open and spill out into the rain. The forest hits me all at once. Wet earth, crushed pine, the distant rush of a river somewhere below. The air is cold and strangely metallic, like the sky is made of iron. My bare arms goosebump immediately, the ruined white dress clinging to my skin. The phone. I need my phone. "No, you need to move." My voice breaks. "You heard wolves, Mara. Get off the road. Get to... To where?" The nearest town is miles behind me. Ridgecrest is still at least 15 minutes ahead. The only light is the flickering remains of my headlight, painting the trees in stuttering flashes. Thunder growls overhead. I take a few stumbling steps away from the wreckage, shoes sinking into mud. The forest looms, branches knitted so tightly, the darkness beneath them looks almost solid. The smell hits me then. Not gas, not rain, something else. Warm and wild and electric. It's like the air itself breathes against my skin. Spiced pine, smoke, a hint of something rich and unexpectedly intoxicating. My knees weaken, and I grab a nearby tree to steady myself, bark rough under my fingertips. What is that? A branch snaps to my left. I jerk my head toward the sound. Between the trees, 2 points of light float in the darkness. Silver, unblinking. Eyes. My pulse roars in my ears. I can't move. I can't breathe. I can only stare as the shape around those eyes resolves. A massive shadow, fur gleaming wet under the weak light, muscles shifting as it steps closer. A wolf. No. Too big. Far too big. Its head reaches my chest, even hunched low. Its fur is a deep smoke gray, almost black, streaked with darker patches. Rain beads on its coat, sliding down in thin rivulets. It should look like an animal. It doesn't. There's a stillness to it, a focus, a quiet, lethal intelligence in those eyes that makes my mouth go dry. We freeze, locked in some silent, awful tableau. Its nostrils flare. I feel it, like an invisible thread snapping taut between us. Something reaches across the space, across the rain, and the wreck, and the years of stories and fear, and hooks into me, into my chest, my throat, the place my grandmother used to touch when she said your soul knows before you do. The wolf stiffens. My heart stutters. The world narrows to the rise and fall of his massive chest, the way his gaze drags over me like a touch. Easy, I whisper, though I don't know if I mean him or myself. It's okay. I won't hurt you. His lip curls, revealing teeth that gleam like polished bone. Right. Stupid. Another howl tears through the forest, nearer now. The wolf's head snaps toward the sound, ears flattening, shoulders tensing. When his gaze swings back to me, something like frustration flashes there. Anger, fear, not of me, for me. He moves. 1 second, he's 10 feet away. The next, he surges forward in a blur of gray and black, closing the distance so fast I throw my arms up and shriek. He doesn't hit me. He slams into something just beyond my shoulder with a bone-crunching impact, the force knocking me sideways into the mud. Snarling explodes around me. Deep, vicious animal sounds that vibrate in my bones. I scramble onto my hands and knees, hair plastered to my face, heart trying to climb out of my throat. 2 shapes writhe together in the mud and rain. Another wolf, this one a mottled brown, has launched itself at the gray one, teeth snapping. They collide, jaws clashing, claws carving furrows in the earth. The brown wolf lunges for the gray's throat. No! I don't even recognize my own voice as I grab the nearest thing, a broken branch, and hurl it in their direction like it might do something. The gray wolf twists, muscles rippling, and throws the brown one off him with brutal strength. The smaller wolf crashes into a bush, whines, then scrambles back to its feet, eyes bright with bloodlust. There are more shapes in the trees behind it, more eyes, surrounding us. Okay, I whisper hoarsely. This is not happening. This is not... The gray wolf steps in front of me. Just steps there, planting himself between me and the others, shoulders bunched, head lowered, a low warning growl rumbling from deep in his chest. The sound rolls through the clearing like thunder, overshadowing the rain. The other wolves hesitate. The brown one snarls back, hackles raised, taking a step forward. The gray wolf's growl sharpens, a razor-edged warning that makes the hair on my arms stand on end. He glances back at me just once, and for a dizzy moment our eyes lock again. Silver, unnatural, beautiful. A thought comes, unbidden, ridiculous and terrifying. He's protecting me. The brown wolf lunges again, but then something crackles in the air, sharp and electric, like the moment before lightning strikes. The smell of ozone cuts through the damp forest. The wolves freeze as if they feel it too. My skin prickles. A voice, low and furious, slices through the night. Enough. The word isn't spoken aloud. Not exactly. It shivers through my mind, a command that doesn't belong to me. The gray wolf jerks, his body arching as if in pain. For a heartbeat, His form flickers in my vision. Still wolf, but wrong. Edges blurring, bones shifting under skin. I blink hard, rainwater mixing with the tears I didn't realize were there. The brown wolf whines, backing away. One by one, the glowing eyes in the trees disappear, swallowed by darkness. We're alone again. My chest rises and falls in harsh, gasping breaths. The gray wolf stands rigid, sides heaving. When he looks back at me this time, his gaze is different. Softer. Sad. He takes a step toward me, then another. Instinct screams at me to run, but something deeper, older, whispers stay. My hand lifts of its own accord, trembling. "Who are you?" The words scrape out of me. He stops with his muzzle inches from my palm. I can see every detail now. The dripping fur, the faint scar along his jawline, the tremor in his shoulders. He inhales slowly. The thread between us tightens until I can barely breathe. Heat flares under my skin, searing away the cold. It feels like recognition, like standing on the edge of something vast and dangerous and inevitable. His eyes flutter shut for the briefest moment, as if he's fighting himself. When they open again, there's something resigned in them. Something like sorrow. The voice returns, softer this time, brushing the inside of my mind like a feather dragged across raw nerve. "You shouldn't be here, little human." My heart stops. I yank my hand back, stumbling. I heard you. I heard..." The wolf huffs a breath that could almost be a laugh, or a broken thing trying to be one. "Go back down the mountain," the voice says. Quieter, strained. "If you stay, they'll smell you. They'll know. And He cuts himself off, jaw clenching. "And you what?" I whisper. He doesn't answer. Instead, he turns his massive head toward the distant glow of Ridgecrest, barely visible through the trees, like a bruise of light against the dark. Thunder cracks overhead. The first growl of something larger, something older, waking. When he looks at me again, the air between us hums. "You're early," the voice inside my head rasps. The bond shouldn't have woken yet. The word bond sends a sharp, shivering shock down my spine. Before I can ask what he means, the gray wolf steps back, muscles tensing. His form wavers at the edges again, like heat mirage over asphalt. A strangled sound escapes his throat. "Wait!" I reach for him, but pain spears through my shoulder and I stumble. He flinches like my touch burned him. Then he's gone, vanishing into the trees with a blur of motion, swallowed by shadow and rain, leaving nothing behind but paw prints in the mud and the echo of his scent in my lungs. Warm, wild, mine. I stand alone in the storm, dress ruined, car wrecked, life splintered, the word bond ringing in my ears. Somewhere in the distance, the town of Ridgecrest waits, and so does the man I'm supposed to marry. I don't know his name, but I have a horrible, electric, terrifying suspicion that I've already met him. Chapter 2. The Man from the Woods. For a few long, rain-drenched seconds, I just stand there in the mud, staring at the place where he vanished. My breathing comes too fast. The storm presses in from all sides, turning the world into a tight, wet throat. My shoulder throbs in time with my heartbeat, each pulse a reminder that I'm very, very human and very, very breakable. "You shouldn't be here, little human." The words echo in my skull, threaded with that low, rough voice that isn't quite a voice. "I'm losing my mind," I whisper. Lightning rips across the sky, white veins in a dark body. The resulting thunder shudders through the trees, and beneath it, faint but clear, comes another distant howl, I jerk, heart stumbling. Move, Mara. Logic finally punches through the shock. Wolves, normal or nightmare-sized, have teeth. My car is dead. My dress is torn. My body is one wrong move away from collapsing. I force my legs to work, stumbling back toward the road. The headlight weakens, sputters, then dies entirely, plunging everything into a heavy blackness broken only by the bruised glow of the blood moon and the occasional flare of lightning. Okay, I mutter, teeth chattering. Plan. You need a plan. I could walk back down the mountain, but I have no flashlight, no jacket, and no guarantee I won't meet more, whatever they were. I could walk up toward Ridgecrest. Both options feel like walking into a mouth. Another rumble, closer than thunder, the low growl of an engine. My head snaps up. Through the trees, headlights appear, twin orbs cutting through the rain. They grow brighter, closer, bouncing with the unevenness of the road. A truck, big, from the silhouette, dark. Relief slams through me so hard my knees wobble. I step closer to the asphalt and throw my arms up, waving. The truck slows. Gravel crunches as it pulls to the side and stops a few yards away from the wreck. The engine rumbles low, steady. My heartbeat does something strange. The driver's door opens. A man climbs out. He unfolds from the truck with a kind of contained power, like he's built of coiled springs and quiet storms. Dark jeans, boots already muddy, a black Henley plastered to his chest by the rain and topped with a worn leather jacket. His hair is black and wet, pushed back from a strong, angular face. But it's his eyes that gut me. Even from a distance they catch the light, a pale, unnatural gray that reminds me of a certain pair of eyes glinting through the trees. No. Coincidence. People have gray eyes. He stops when he sees the wreck, gaze sweeping over it in a quick, efficient assessment before landing on me. You're hurt, he says. His voice is deep, rough-edged, familiar. I swallow hard. Just a little car versus tree situation. The tree won. He stares at me another beat, rain streaking down his face, expression a mixture of irritation and something like relief. Then he closes the distance between us in a few long strides. Up close, he's even taller, easily over 6 feet, with broad shoulders that fill the rain-dark world around him. Heat rolls off his body despite the cold, a subtle warmth that pushes back the chill, nibbling at my bones. And beneath the damp earth and leather smell of him, I catch it. That same scent from the forest. Wild, smoky, like pine needles and something warmer, layered beneath it. Amber and heat and something that makes my lungs forget how to work. The invisible thread in my chest jerks. I flinch. His jaw tightens, like he feels it too. Where are you hurt? He asks, voice clipped now, controlled. My shoulder. I try to roll it and fail, wincing. Seatbelt did its job. My dress did not. His gaze drops for half a second, taking in the torn chiffon, the blood smeared along the strap where the glass must have nicked me. His nostrils flare, a subtle movement. An odd heat races across my skin, like that tiny reaction meant more than it should. Don't move, he says quietly. He steps closer, so close I can see the dark stubble along his jaw, the tiny scar at the corner of his mouth, the way a raindrop clings to his lashes before falling. His hands are big, his fingers long and roughened, veins ridged faintly under tan skin. He reaches out and very gently, very carefully, touches my injured shoulder. My breath hitches. It's not a romantic touch. It's clinical, assessing. But the moment his hand brushes me, something sparks. Warmth erupts under his palm, spreading through the bruised muscles, dulling the pain to a throbbing ache. I gasp, eyes flying to his. He freezes. For one suspended heartbeat, everything goes silent. Rain, thunder, the distant river. All of it falls away under the weight of his gaze. The thread between us pulls tight, like it's wrapped around both of our throats. What was that? I whisper. He pulls back sharply like he's been burned. It's a sprain, he says, voice suddenly cold. You're lucky. Could have been worse. I blink, thrown by the quick shift. Right. Lucky. I gesture weakly at the crumpled remains of my car. That's what they'll put on the insurance form. His mouth twitches, almost a smile, quickly smothered. He glances past me at the wreck again, then back down the road. Something passes over his face. Some silent calculus, before he looks at me directly. You shouldn't be out here alone, he says. I almost laugh. Trust me. That's been the theme of the night. Silence stretches between us, thick but not empty. His gaze flicks to the ruined dress again, then to my bare ring finger. Where were you headed? Ridgecrest. The word tastes like iron. There's an engagement dinner. My engagement dinner, apparently. I'm late. Something in his expression hardens at that. You're Mara. I stiffen. How do you know my name? He hesitates. It's only a heartbeat, but I feel it. Then, we got a call. Said you left late. These roads. People disappear in these woods when they're not careful. His eyes darken. I went looking. I don't know why, but the idea of him coming specifically feels intimate, dangerous. And you just happened to find me? I ask, voice barely above the patter of rain. He holds my gaze. Yes. There's something he isn't saying. I can taste it like ozone. You're from Ridgecrest? I press. Yes. Do you always patrol the Murder Wolf Highway on stormy nights? Or am I just special? A breath huffs out of him. This time it is almost a laugh, low and reluctant. Murder Wolf Highway? I've had a night, I mutter. I reserve the right to be dramatic. His eyes soften, the hard lines of his face easing, just for a second. It makes him look younger, human. I'll take you into town, he says. You can get that shoulder looked at. Call whoever's waiting for you. My stomach tightens. Whoever. As if there isn't a stranger up there, holding my future in his hands. What's your name? I ask. He's already turning away, guiding me gently toward the truck with a hand at the small of my back. The light pressure sends another electric little shock down my spine. Rowan, he says. Rowan Hale. The name slides through me with a strange familiarity, like hearing a song I almost remember. Rowan Hale. I climb into the passenger seat on awkward, shaky legs as he opens the door. The interior smells like leather and pine and him. The moment I sit, his scent wraps around me, and the invisible bond inside me tightens another notch. He closes the door with more force than necessary, like he's fighting something. A second later, he's in the driver's seat, bringing a wave of heat and the quiet menace of his presence with him. The truck growls to life. As we pull away, my car becomes a broken shadow in the rearview mirror. Someone should tow that, I say faintly, before the forest eats it. We'll handle it, Rowan replies. We. It takes me a moment to realize he means the town, the pack, whatever Ridgecrest is. I shift, cradling my injured shoulder, stealing glances at him as the truck rumbles up the mountain road. Up close, those gray eyes are even stranger. Not flat or icy. They're layered. Specks of darker silver spin near the center. catching the passing lights. Every now and then, something moves behind them, some flicker of emotion. He shuts down fast. "You're really quiet," I say after a while, surprising myself. Is it a town thing? Ridgecrest people, now with 30% less words. One corner of his mouth lifts, just a little. We say plenty, just not when we have nothing useful to say. Wow, I exhale. A man committed to not wasting words. That's rare. His fingers flex on the steering wheel. "You talk a lot when you're scared," he observes. My cheeks heat. "You always tell strangers they're scared?" "Only when they are." He glances at me then, and I see it. Past the guarded expression, past the control, concern. It hits me low and hard. I start, then stop. The lie won't come. Yeah, I'm scared. The admission hangs between us, vulnerable and raw. Rowan doesn't offer empty platitudes. He doesn't say it'll be okay. He doesn't reach out again. But his hands tighten on the wheel like he wants to break it. "You shouldn't have been out alone," he murmurs. "Not tonight." A shiver coils down my spine. What's so special about tonight? "The storm," he says immediately. He's lying. Not completely, but there's something he's not telling me. "And the moon?" I ask, watching his profile carefully. His jaw ticks. "What about it?" "It's wrong." I stare up through the rain-streaked windshield at the huge red orb hanging over the forest. My grandmother used to tell stories about nights like this. Nights the moon bleeds, and wolves choose brides. Silence. Then he says very quietly, "Do you believe in stories, Mara?" I didn't. My fingers twist in the ruined fabric of my dress. Then tonight happened. He doesn't push. He doesn't scoff either. "Your grandmother was from Ridgecrest," he asks instead. Nearby. A ghost of a smile flits across my lips. "She used to warn me about the woods, said the trees had teeth, that everything up here belongs to the wolves." "It does," he says so softly I almost miss it. I turn to look at him. "What?" "Just that people disappear if they're careless," he amends. The truck takes another curve. Through the rain, I catch glimpses of the forest. Dark trunks, tangled branches, glints of eyes that might be reflections or might be... Nope, not finishing that thought. The air seems to thicken as we climb. My skin prickles, like the very atmosphere changes with altitude. Heavier, denser, pulled tight. I become acutely aware of him beside me, the way his chest rises and falls, the way his scent thickens in the confined space, sparking that strange warmth inside me with every breath. My shoulder aches less, which makes no sense. "Thank you," I say suddenly. He flicks me a sidelong look. "For what?" "For stopping," I reply. "For coming to find me." Rowan's throat works. His fingers flex again. "You don't need to thank me." I kind of do. I manage a small, strained grin. Without you, I'd be wolf food. Or tree food. Or just a very cold, very damp ghost. Something like anger flashes in his eyes. Not at me. At the idea. "I wouldn't have let that happen," he says, and there's such absolute certainty in his voice that it steals my breath. "You didn't even know me," I whisper. He's silent for a long moment. Then, so softly I almost don't hear it. "You'd be surprised what I know." Before I can ask what that means, the trees thin. Lights appear ahead, warm, clustered, nestled in the valley like a handful of stars dropped to earth. Ridgecrest. From a distance, it looks almost normal. Quaint, even. Dim street lamps. A handful of 2-story buildings. The suggestion of a town square. The wet gleam of rooftops. But as we descend toward it, my stomach twists. There's something about the way the shadows cling in the alleys, the way the windows glow, but I can't see anyone behind them, the way the entire place feels, contained, watching. Rowan drives through the main street without comment. I catch flashes of people on porches, under awnings, behind glass, faces that turn as we pass, eyes that linger. The truck seems to draw attention like a magnet. Everyone's really into neighborhood watch, I murmur. He doesn't smile this time. They like to know who comes and goes. My skin crawls. We pull up in front of a large building at the end of the street, slightly set apart from the rest. It's old, but well kept. Weathered stone, dark wood, wide front steps. Lanterns burn on either side of the heavy double doors, their flames steady despite the wind. It looks like a mansion had a baby with a lodge. It also looks like the kind of place where people make deals they can't walk away from. My engagement dinner. My throat goes dry. Rowan kills the engine. The silence that follows is thick. "You can still turn back," he says. The words are so close to the unknown callers that my heart lurches. I force my fingers to unclench from the seat. My father would love that. Your father isn't here. He faces me fully now. The gray of his eyes darkened. You are. My heartbeat stutters. For a moment, it's just us in the quiet truck. Storm muted. The town holding its breath outside. Is there something I should know? I ask, unable to keep the tremor from my voice. About who I'm meeting. About Ridgecrest? A muscle jumps in his jaw. There's a lot you should know, he says, but no one asked my opinion on when to tell you. Rage, brief and sharp, flares under the words. It makes something tight in my chest loosen a little. At least I'm not the only one who thinks this whole thing is screwed up. Are you... I hesitate. Are you going to be there? At the dinner? I don't have a choice, he mutters, almost to himself. Then more firmly. Yes. Oddly, that helps. Okay, I breathe. Then at least I'll know one person in the room. He looks at me like that statement physically hurts him. Mara, he says, and there's something like apology in the way my name breaks on his tongue. You don't know me. My chest aches. Feels like I do. The admission hangs between us, raw and dangerous. His eyes close for half a second, as if he's listening to something I can't hear. When he opens them, they're darker, resigned. Come on, he says roughly. They're waiting. He's out of the truck before I can respond. Coming around to my side, he opens the door and offers a hand. I stare at it, at the long fingers, the faint scar across his knuckles. Taking it feels like stepping off a cliff. I slide my palm into his. Heat engulfs me. The invisible thread becomes a chain, wrapped tight around my bones, pulling me toward him. For a heartbeat, the world tilts, like I'm being yanked into a new orbit. Rowan's breath stutters. His grip tightens just a fraction too long before he helps me down, steadying me when my injured shoulder makes me wobble. Careful, he murmurs. Can't have me face-planting before I've signed away my freedom, I say, attempting lightness. It comes out thin. He makes a low sound that might be a growl. Then he drops my hand like it burned him. We climb the steps together, side by side but not touching. I can feel him, though, like a gravitational field, pulling at every part of me. The door swings open before we reach it. A woman stands there, tall and striking, with sleek dark hair and eyes the same uncanny shade of gray as Rowan's. She's dressed in black from throat to ankle, posture straight, expression cool. Her gaze flicks to Rowan first. Something passes between them, fast, sharp, unspoken. Then she looks at me. "So," she says, lips curving in a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. "The bride has finally arrived." My stomach drops. "And you must be—" I start, fingers curling into the ruined chiffon at my sides. She arches a brow. "Lena, I handle affairs for the Hale family." The Hale family. I look from her to Rowan, confusion twisting through me. Hale. He watches me, face closed, waiting. "The Alpha is inside," Lena continues, stepping back to let us in. "He's been eager to meet you." Eager. The word scrapes. The foyer is all warm wood and soft light and old stone. It should feel comforting. It doesn't. There's something threaded into the air here. Something pulsing. Animal. Beneath the civilized surface. My feet feel heavy as I cross the threshold. My heart won't settle. "Rowan," Lena says smoothly. "You can bring her straight through. No need to keep him waiting. You know how he gets." "I'm aware," he replies tightly. He gestures down a long hallway. I fall into step beside him, the thick rugs muffling our footsteps. Portraits of severe-looking men and women watch us from the walls, eyes too sharp, too knowing. "Alpha," I whisper. "Is that like a title?" "In Ridgecrest it is," Rowan says. I force a shaky breath. "So, that's what he is. The man I'm supposed to marry, and Alpha." The word feels strange in my mouth, powerful, dangerous. We reach a set of double doors at the end of the hall. Rowan stops. "Mira." My name in his voice makes me look up immediately. He's closer than I realized, his presence wrapping around me again, warm and tense and too much. "Whatever happens in there, remember, you can still choose." I stare at him. "Can I?" His gaze drops to my mouth, then jerks away. "You should," he says quietly. "Even if you don't." Before I can untangle that, the doors swing open. The room beyond is large and shadowed, lit by a flickering fire and a chandelier that looks older than my grandparents'. A long table stretches across the center, laden with untouched food and gleaming glassware. At the far end of the room, a man stands with his back to us, broad shoulders silhouetted against the firelight. He turns at the sound of our arrival. My breath catches. He has the same black hair as Rowan, the same tall, powerful build. But where Rowan is storm-contained, this man is storm unleashed. His presence crashes over me in a wave, thick and heavy, making the fine hairs along my arms stand on end. His eyes are silver, not pale gray, not cool steel. Silver, bright as moonlight on water. The same unnatural gleam I saw in the forest, now set in a human face. My heart slams against my ribs. He looks at me, and the world narrows to the space between us. The bond inside me, whatever it is, snaps tight. A cord pulled to the breaking point. Heat surges through my veins. My fingers tremble. "Oh," I whisper, barely audible. "Oh, God." The man's jaw clenches. For a heartbeat, something wild flashes in his eyes, raw and unhidden. Then he smooths it away, lips curving into a smile that doesn't quite reach that silver gaze. "Mara," he says, voice low and resonant, full of smoke and gravel and something that scrapes along my bones in a horribly familiar way. "Welcome to Ridgecrest." Rowan is suddenly very still beside me. Lena appears at my shoulder, her smile sharp. "Mara," she says brightly, "may I present Rowan Hale?" My brain short-circuits. Slowly, mechanically, I turn my head. The man in front of the fire, silver-eyed, terrifying, magnetic, tilts his head in a faint nod. "We've already met," he says softly. The room tilts. Alpha, Hale, Rowan, not the quiet rescuer who drove me here. The man standing in front of the fire. The one whose voice I heard in my mind. The one whose wolf stood between me and death. The blood roars in my ears as the pieces slam into place. My throat works. You... He holds my gaze, and this time, he doesn't look away. Yes, he says quietly. Me. He takes a step toward me, the air crackling between us, and I finally understand. I'm betrothed to the man whose eyes I saw in the forest, the man whose scent already lives in my lungs, the man whose wolf called me little human beneath a bleeding moon. Chapter 3. The Alpha's Claim. For a long, breathless heartbeat, no one moves. The fire crackles behind Rowan, the real Rowan, the Alpha whose wolf stood between me and death. His silver eyes reflect the flames like molten metal, and standing this close to him feels like standing at the edge of a cliff during a storm. He doesn't look away. He doesn't blink. It's as if he's memorizing me all over again. My pulse pounds so hard I feel it in my injured shoulder. Lena exhales sharply, almost annoyed. Well, that explains why you were late, Rowan. Rowan's gaze flicks to her, sharp, warning, and she shuts her mouth. My Rowan, the one who drove me here, is silent beside me. When I glance at him, he's stone still, jaw locked, muscles so tight they might snap. His eyes are trained on his brother with a coldness that makes my stomach clench. Brother. Of course. Why didn't I see it the moment Rowan Hale, the driver, said his name? 2 Rowan Hales, but only one with silver eyes. Only one whose presence feels like a storm rolling over my skin. Only one who felt like the wolf who stood over me, breathing fire and moonlight. The Alpha, my betrothed. I swallow, trying to force air into my lungs. Why didn't you tell me? I whisper. He hears it. Somehow he hears everything. His expression doesn't soften. If anything, something in it tightens. You had enough to face without adding titles to the list. My laugh is thin, shaky. So, you decided to... What? Let me figure it out by nearly being eaten alive. The corner of his mouth twitches. Not amusement. Something darker. Something that flickers between regret and fury. You weren't supposed to be hurt, he says, voice low. You weren't supposed to be out there at all. I blink. You were the one who called me. The muscles in his jaw jump. Yes. Lena looks between us, irritation sharpening her features. Rowan, this is hardly... Leave. The Alpha's voice is quiet. Lena stiffens. We have procedures. I said leave, Lena. She goes rigid, color draining from her face. Then she steps back, spine straightening, and disappears out the door without another word. Silence crashes down like a wave. The younger Rowan, the one who drove me, the one I thought was him, keeps his distance. If anything, he takes a subtle half-step backward, like the air around the Alpha is too volatile, too charged. The silver-eyed Rowan turns back to me. Sit. He gestures to the long table. The command isn't barked. It isn't harsh. But it thrums with authority, the kind that slips under your skin and drags your body into movement before your mind catches up. My knees wobble. I grip the back of the nearest chair. I'm not a dog, I manage, pushing the words out even as my body fights the urge to obey. I don't respond to commands. Something flashes across his eyes. Quick, sharp, almost like surprise. Then, no, you're not. He steps closer. One step, then another. And God's help me, my pulse answers. You're human, he says softly. The word shouldn't feel intimate. It does. And I shouldn't be able to sense you. His eyes narrow slightly, as if he's trying not to say more. Not this strongly. My heart slams at the base of my throat. Heat pools deep in my chest. The bond shouldn't have woken yet. The memory of his mental voice slams into me. "You said that," I whisper, "in the forest, that it wasn't supposed to happen yet." His breath catches. Rowan, the alpha, stops inches in front of me. His scent hits me like a warm rush of pine and smoke and something darker. My knees nearly buckle. "You weren't meant to know that." His voice is rough now, fraying at the edges. But yes, the bond woke early. I swallow hard. Bond? Behind me, the younger Rowan exhales sharply, pinching the bridge of his nose like this entire conversation is a nightmare. The alpha doesn't look away from me. He reaches out slowly enough that I could back away if I wanted to. I don't. His hand lifts toward my face. I flinch anyway, a tiny reflex I can't control. His fingers stop in midair. He freezes, a muscle in his cheek twitching. "I won't hurt you," he murmurs. And God's help me, every part of me believes him. Not because I should, because this pull between us wants me to. His hand finally touches me, barely, just a single fingertip brushing the corner of my jaw. Lightning. My breath stutters out in a sharp exhale. Something molten spreads under my skin, blooming from that single point of contact. His pupils dilate. He feels it too. The room tightens around us. The air thickens until breathing feels like wading through honey. I sway toward him without meaning to. He inhales sharply, eyes flicking down my face like he's memorizing every detail. "This is impossible," he mutters, voice almost broken. "You're..." He stops. "What?" My voice cracks. "I'm what?" His eyes drag back to mine. "Human." I blink. We've established that. But he shakes his head once, jaw clenching again. "Never mind." "No." Heat spikes in my chest. Fear, frustration. "You don't get to never mind me. I nearly died tonight. Twice, apparently. Someone attacked you. And me. And you show up with silver eyes and a wolf the size of a tank, and you're trembling." His voice cuts through cleanly. I look down. He's right. My whole body is shaking. From the cold, from the pain, from the sheer overload of everything happening. Suddenly his hands are on my arms, steady and warm and unbearably gentle. Heat radiates through his palms, quieting the tremors like he's pouring calm straight into my veins. I gasp. Pain drains from my shoulder like water from a cracked bowl. "What?" I whisper. "How did you..." He drops his hands instantly, like my skin burns him. It leaves me cold. "That shouldn't have happened," he mutters. "I shouldn't be able to do that. You healed me." The words are breathless. "No." His eyes harden. "I didn't. Healing works differently. This was just..." He cuts himself off again. "Just what?" I demand. His voice drops to a near growl. "Bond interference." My skin prickles. Stop saying bond like that explains anything. The younger Rowan shifts behind me, restless. "Brother." "Stay out of this," the alpha snaps without looking at him. His brother's jaw tightens, but he steps farther back. "You three have a lot of communication issues," I mutter. The alpha's gaze snaps to mine again, and the heat inside me curls tighter. He takes another step closer. "Your name," he says quietly, "is Mara Hale." Ice skitters down my spine. "No." My voice shakes. "I haven't agreed to anything yet. You're betrothed to the Alpha of Ridgecrest." His voice deepens, almost a rumble. "By blood pact. By law. By oath. I didn't make any oath. Your father did." His eyes soften. Not much, but enough that I feel it. "On the night you were born." My stomach drops. "What did he trade?" I whisper. Rowan hesitates. and that hesitation tells me exactly how bad the truth must be. Before he can answer, the doors open again. 4 men enter, moving like a single organism. Silent, broad-shouldered, gray-eyed. Wolves wearing human skin. One of them looks straight at me. She smells like the bond. Heat explodes in my face. The alpha rounds on them instantly, a snarl rippling beneath his words. Out. But Rowan, out. His voice hits with such force the lights flicker. They retreat. The door slams, and then Rowan turns back to me. The silver in his eyes gleams brighter. Mira, he says, my name breaking in the center. You're not ready for the whole truth, but you need to hear this much. I brace myself. He steps closer again. We are fated, you and I. My pulse trips violently. No, I whisper. No, that's impossible. Fate doesn't care what you believe. His voice gentles, but the intensity doesn't fade. The bond woke early because it recognized you. Recognized me as what? His throat works. Then he says the words that my entire body seems to both dread and crave. My mate. Air punches out of my lungs. And behind me, the younger Rowan's breath catches like he's been stabbed. I can't think. I can't breathe. My body burns. My mind spins. Mate. The wolf. The scent. The pull. All of it slams into place. No, I rasp. I can't be. You are. Rowan's voice drops to a growl that isn't fully human. And that means you're mine. It strikes through me like heat and ice and lightning all tangled together. Before I can respond, before I can even take a breath, the windows rattle violently. A howl rises outside. Not one. Many. Rowan's head snaps toward the sound, expression going from dangerously intense to lethal in a heartbeat. He steps in front of me, posture shifting, body coiled. They're early, he snarls. They're not supposed to be here yet. Who? I breathe. He looks over his shoulder, silver eyes blazing. The rival pack. The door slams open again as Lena bursts in, pale. They crossed the river, she hisses. They're coming for her. Rowan moves fast, too fast, reaching for me, grip firm and unyielding. We're out of time, he growls. Stay behind me. Do not move. His scent crashes over me again. The bond ignites like wildfire. And for the first time since the night began, I'm terrified not of the wolves outside, but of what will happen if Rowan Hale loses control trying to protect me. Chapter 4. The night the wolves crossed the river. The doors slam open and the storm rushes in with a roar. Wet wind, rattling windows, the smell of pine and lightning. Rowan's grip closes around my wrist before I can think, strong and burning hot even through the cold. Move, he growls. Not loud, not shouted, but the command hits like a pulse under my skin, vibrating through bone. Behind him, his brother, the other Rowan Hale, the younger one, steps forward fast. Alpha, the silver-eyed Rowan cuts him with a single look. Stay with her flank. Do not let her out of your sight. A snarl rips through the storm outside, sharp enough to rattle the chandelier. My heart jumps into my throat. What's happening? I whisper, trying to keep my voice from shaking. Who crossed the river? Lena appears beside the doors, pale and tense. The Blackthorn wolves, she says. They were seen near the old iron bridge. That means they've come into Ridgecrest territory. Younger Rowan swears under his breath. They haven't crossed in months. Not since. Not now, the alpha snaps. He pulls me behind him as more howls rise in the distance. Layered, snarling, vicious. These aren't the warning howls from earlier. These are hunting calls. Every hair on my body stands up. Why would they come for me? I demand. I'm no one. I'm not even from here. I have no idea what any of this— You're mine, the alpha says. So sharply the words cut. And they know it. My breath stutters. Heat spreads through me, even as fear clutches my throat. Younger Rowan steps up on my right, close enough that I can feel the warmth of him too. But his presence is different. Softer. Steadying. Don't let him spook you, he murmurs. You're not a piece of property. The alpha whips around, eyes flashing. She is under my protection. You don't own her. I never said I did. His voice is so low, so dangerous. The storm itself seems to pause. Then he looks at me. Just me. Everything else in the room falls away. When a rival pack sense a bond forming, he says slowly, they come to kill the mate. My stomach drops. Kill me. Lightning flashes, illuminating the carved wolf heads along the walls. Thunder answers. They think killing you weakens me, he continues, or breaks the bond. Some packs believe if they take the mate. His jaw clenches. The alpha loses his power. Ice runs through me. The windows rattle again. Rowan shifts, posture tightening, head tilting, as if he hears something I can't. 6 wolves, he mutters. Coming fast. 6, I choke. We need to run. No. He turns, positioning himself directly in front of me, shoulders squared, presence overwhelming. You run. They chase you. You freeze, they kill you. Great pep talk, I whisper hoarsely. He steps, closer, too close, until my breath catches on the heat radiating off him. You stay with me, he says softly, fiercely, and I'll tear apart anything that touches you. The room hums. My pulse stutters. The bond coils tight inside me, hot and magnetic. You're scaring her, younger Rowan mutters. The alpha doesn't look away from me. She needs to know I'll protect her. How about we start with explaining something instead of making threats? I snap, adrenaline sharpening my tongue. You can't just— A snarl interrupts me. This one comes from inside the house. The hallway behind us goes unnaturally still. Younger Rowan draws a long breath. They're in. How? Lena hisses. Doesn't matter, the alpha growls. Form up. In one motion, he shifts his stance, like a wolf squaring off. Shoulders low, weight forward, muscles coiling. The sound of claws on hardwood echoes toward us, slow and deliberate. My blood turns to ice. Rowan steps past me, blocking my view. No matter what happens, he murmurs without looking back. Do not leave my side. He glances back at me. Silver eyes, moonlit, possessive and terrified all at once. The sight burns into me. I'll keep you alive, he whispers. As long as I'm breathing, nothing touches you. My heart hammers. I nod once. I don't know if I trust him. I only know I can't look away. Younger Rowan exhales sharply, then moves to the other side of me. On my life, Mara, I won't let anything get to you. A lump forms in my throat at the fierce sincerity in his voice. It's the first time someone besides the alpha has made a promise like that. A heavy thud shakes the floor. A growl rolls down the hallway, deep and guttural. I grip the back of the chair so tightly my knuckles go white. The alpha shifts his stance again. Lena, open the east window. What? Now. Do it. She sprints to the far wall and yanks open a tall window. Cold night air slams in. Rain sprays across the wood floor. The alpha turns to me. Get down. Something in his voice, some instinct older than language, forces me to obey. I crouch behind a heavy carved table, heart in my throat. Younger Rowan kneels beside me, body angled protectively. It's going to get loud, he says. What does that mean? A snarl blasts through the hallway. Then I see it. A massive wolf, black and mottled with scars, lunges through the doorway. I gasp, stumbling backward. The alpha moves, not human fast, not even superhuman fast, wolf fast. One heartbeat he's standing, the next. He's airborne, slamming into the intruding wolf with enough force to crack the wood floor. His growl tears through the room, violent, furious, primal. For an instant, just an instant, his shape flickers, bones shift, muscles strain. Fur bristles along one arm. He's mid-change, half shifting. I choke on a breath. He's not supposed to be able to do that without losing control. No one is. The younger Rowan curses softly under his breath. Not now. Not tonight, Rowan. But the alpha is beyond hearing. He's a storm in motion, a blur of muscle and silver and claws. Another wolf bursts in, smaller, but vicious. Younger Rowan springs to his feet. "Stay down," he barks over his shoulder. He launches himself at the second wolf, slamming it into the wall. Snarls and crashes explode through the room. Claws rake across stone. Teeth snap. Lanterns flicker. And through it all, the alpha moves like a force of nature. Fast, brutal, terrifyingly graceful. But he's surrounded. Blood sprays across the stone. A chair shatters. 3 more wolves swarm the doorway. My heart lurches. Rowan, the younger one, is struggling now, pinned under the weight of one of them. He grunts, pushing up, but he's one man against a wolf twice his size. "Rowan," I cry. His head snaps toward me, eyes wide. "Mara, don't..." Too late. Instinct overrides fear. I grab the nearest object, a metal candelabra, and hurl it at the wolf holding him down. It hits with a clanging crack against its skull. The wolf yelps, stunned. Younger Rowan kicks it off and rolls to his feet, panting. "Mara, I said stay down." "You're welcome," I shout back. A roar, so loud it shakes the walls, erupts behind me. I whip around. The alpha isn't fighting anymore. He's raging. His eyes blaze pure silver. His teeth lengthen. Claws extend. His entire body trembles with the urge to shift fully. He sees blood, his brother's blood, mine on my shoulder, his pack fighting, and the bond snaps violently. "Mara," he growls, low, feral, resonant enough to vibrate through my ribs. "Get behind me, now." I take one step toward him, and everything stops. Every wolf freezes. Every sound halts. The entire house seems to hold its breath, because the alpha Hale, Rowan Hale, is standing half-shifted, silver blazing from his eyes, looking at me like I'm the only anchor keeping him from turning into a monster. "Mara..." Younger Rowan breathes somewhere behind me, voice cracking with fear. "Don't move. He's losing control." But the alpha only says one thing, one word, voice thick with the command of an ancient bond that shouldn't exist between human and wolf. "Come." My body trembles. My heart answers. Heat surges through the bond, flooding my veins. Every wolf in the room snarls, not at him, at me. The alpha's growl deepens, the room vibrating with it. They scent the bond. Another wolf lunges, straight for me. Silver explodes in Rowan Hale's eyes. He launches himself at the attacker, claws out, teeth bared, half man, half beast, all fury. The impact sends Wolf and Alpha crashing into the far wall, stone cracking, sparks flying from lanterns. The rival pack scatters. Some retreat, some limp, some drag, the wounded. And then, as quickly as it began, the invading wolves flee into the storm, but Rowan Hale doesn't stand, doesn't move, doesn't shift back. He kneels in the center of the room, chest heaving, halfway transformed, trembling with the effort to stay human. "Mara," he rasps. "Don't. Come closer." Younger Rowan grabs my arm. Don't. Don't you dare. But the alpha lifts his head, eyes glowing like the moon itself, voice a raw, ragged whisper. Mara, please. And I walk toward him, because the bond pulls me like gravity, and because the most dangerous creature in Ridgecrest is begging for me. Chapter 5. The Alpha on his knees. For a second, I'm sure I've misheard him. Mara, please. The word please does not belong in a monster's mouth. It doesn't belong in the mouth of an alpha who just tore through 3 wolves like they were made of paper. It's too raw, too human, too broken. My feet move before my brain catches up. 1 step, 2. The air around Rowan Hale shimmers with heat and something else. Some wild, electric tension that tastes like lightning on my tongue. Half of him is still wolf. Claws, thick, dark fur up his arms, muscles corded and trembling with the urge to shift all the way. The other half is man. Bare, blood-slicked throat, jaw clenched, eyes glowing like molten silver. He looks like a god dragged halfway through a nightmare. Mara, stop. A hand closes around my upper arm. Younger. Not Rowan's voice is harsh at my ear. He doesn't know what he's doing. But the alpha's gaze is crystal clear when it locks on mine. He knows exactly what he's doing. Let me go, I whisper. Younger, not Rowan's fingers tighten. If he fully shifts, he might not let me go. I don't know where the steel in my voice comes from. All I know is that the bond inside me is a live wire, humming, pulling me forward. Every cell in my body vibrates with the certainty that if I walk away now, something in both of us will snap. The younger Hale brother swears under his breath. Slowly, reluctantly, he releases me. I take another step. The room is a wreck. Broken chairs, shattered glass, blood smeared across stone. The scent of it hangs thick in the air, metallic and sharp, cut with smoke from the fireplace, and the wet tang of the storm still pouring in through the open window. Underneath it all, the alpha's scent curls like smoke around my lungs. Wild, warm, familiar, in a way that terrifies me. He's kneeling in the middle of the chaos, shoulders bunched, chest heaving. Claws are sunk into the floorboards, leaving deep gouges. His head is bowed, black hair hanging damp around his face. He could stand. He could tower over me, could lunge, could tear, could destroy. Instead, Rowan Hale, the alpha of Ridgecrest, stays on his knees. For me. Careful, he grates out, voice roughened into something almost inhuman. Closer. And his words cut off with a guttural sound. Half growl, half strangled exhale. Every instinct I have screams run. The bond whispers stay. I sink down in front of him, knees hitting the cracked floor. The stone is cold and unforgiving beneath the ruined hem of my dress. My injured shoulder throbs, but the pain feels far away now. All I can see is him. Rowan, I say, as softly as I can over the pounding in my ears. Look at me. His head jerks up. Silver slams into me. There's nothing human in that gaze at first. It's all wolf. Raw, wild, ancient. My breath stutters, fear spiking sharp and bright. Then slowly, like the tide rolling back, something softer moves in. Recognition. Mara. The way he says my name turns it into a confession. Heat floods my chest. Behind me, someone shifts. Lena, maybe. The younger brother. The surviving pack wolves battered and watching with wide, wary eyes. I barely register them. His breathing is ragged. You need to get away from me. That's not what you just asked, I whisper. His jaw clenches. That was the wolf talking. And this? I reach out before he can stop me, my hand trembling as I lift it toward his face. Who's talking now? He flinches away. The movement is so violent his claws rip fresh gouges in the floor. I freeze. "Mara," younger brother says sharply. "Enough." He's barely holding it together. Maybe I should listen. Maybe I should run. But then Rowan shudders. A painful whole-body shiver, and I see it. The war happening just under his skin. The way his muscles twitch with the urge to shift, to break, to become something that doesn't have to care whether I live or die. He's not afraid of becoming the beast. He's afraid of what the beast might do to me. Something inside me, something bruised and small, and tired of being traded and arranged and offered up like a bargaining chip, pushes forward. "Rowan." My voice steadies. "Will you hurt me?" His eyes blaze brighter. I would rather die. The answer comes so fast, so fierce. It knocks the breath from my lungs. My throat aches. "Then look at me," I say, fighting the wobble in my voice. "Not them. Not the blood. Just me." His gaze locks on mine. The bond hums. Slowly, inch by inch. I reach out again. We both watch my hand move through the air, like it's the most dangerous thing in the room. His claws twitch. The younger brother makes a choked sound behind me. "Mara." "Quiet," Rowan snarls without breaking eye contact. The word shudders through his half-changed body, and I feel it down my spine. My fingers finally touch his cheek. Heat. Not harsh, scorching heat, but something deeper. The kind of warmth that seeps into cold bones, that melts frost, that says home even when everything else is on fire. His skin is rough with stubble, damp with sweat and rain. A faint tremor runs under my fingertips. His eyes flutter shut. The room holds its breath. The bond flares. Not wild this time, but deep, steady, like a heartbeat syncing with mine. I don't know what I'm doing. There's no guidebook for calming a half-shifted alpha with blood on his claws. So I do the only thing I can think of. I lean forward until our foreheads touch. His breath stutters against my mouth. "Rowan," I whisper, eyes closing. "Come back." For a terrifying second, nothing happens. Then the world exhales. The heat under my hand shifts, sharpening, then smoothing, then settling. The tension in his shoulders unwinds a fraction at a time. The claws retract, scraping back along stone. Bones crackle and slide under his skin. Fur recedes. Muscles realign. The air around us cools. I feel every change through the point where our skin connects, like the bond is a wire, and his body is electricity. His breathing slows. "Mara." His voice is still rough, but it's human again. "You should be running in the opposite direction." I pull back just enough to see his face. He's beautiful, devastated, exhausted, sweat-damp hair sticking to his forehead, lips parted, silver eyes softer now, though shadows still lurk in them. "You're welcome," I say faintly. Something like a laugh shivers through him. It sounds rusty and surprised. "You're insane," he murmurs. "You know that?" My lips twitch. I've been told. We're too close. I can see every fleck of darker silver in his irises, the faint scar along his jaw, the tension still vibrating in the line of his throat. I become acutely aware of the fact that I'm kneeling between his legs, dress torn, hand on his face, his breath brushing my lips. Heat curls low in my belly. He realizes it at the same time I do. Color darkens his cheekbones. His gaze drops to my mouth for one molten second, before he jerks away like he's been burned. He pushes to his feet in one fluid motion, dragging a hand through his hair. The wolf is gone from his body now, but not from his presence. It lingers in the sharpness of his moves. in the way his shoulders stay slightly tense, ready. He holds a hand down to me. I stare at it. We both know what happened the last time I touched him. Slowly, I slide my fingers into his. The bond hums, but doesn't flare. Not like before. It feels anchored now. Less like a storm, more like a river. Deep and strong and terrifying in its own way. He pulls me up gently. "You could have died," he says, voice low. "Walking toward an unstable alpha in the middle of a shift is stupid," I supply. "Reckless? Suicidal? Fatal," he finishes flatly. "For the mate." The room stirs at that word. I feel the ripple move through the onlookers. Lena, standing near the doorway, goes rigid. Her gaze on me is suddenly sharp enough to cut. The surviving pack wolves, bloodied, breathing hard, stare openly now, nostrils flaring as they scent the bond. Younger brother steps closer again, his brow furrowed. "You shouldn't have risked it." I turn to him. Something clicks into place. "I never got your name." Surprise flickers across his face, then guilt. "It's Cade," he says after a beat. "Cade Hale." Cade, not Rowan. The memory slams into me from the truck. Rowan Hale, he'd said. Had he lied? Or had I just assumed? My cheeks burn. "You said—" "I said my name was Rowan because I was ordered to," Cade says quickly, shooting his brother a pointed look. "It was supposed to soften the introduction. Make you think the alpha was less." He gestures at the wrecked room. "This." A bitter sound escapes the alpha. "It was a mistake. One of many," Lena mutters. Rowan's head snaps toward her. "Lena." She lifts her chin. "You think the council won't hear about this? About the Blackthorn pack crossing the river the same night the bond woke? About you almost shifting in front of a human?" My chest tightens. "I'm right here, by the way." "Yes," she says coolly. "That's the problem." Pain flares under my breastbone. Rowan moves, subtle but immediate, like a shield stepping between me and a blow. "Watch your tone," he warns. "I'm only saying what they'll say," she replies. "A human mate is bad enough. A human who triggered an unstable shift in the alpha. The council will want her gone." My pulse spikes. "Gone?" Cade's jaw tightens. "They won't touch her." "You can't guarantee that," Lena snaps. "The Hale line is cursed enough without adding a human mate to the prophecy." The word cursed punches the air out of my lungs. I look at Rowan. His expression is suddenly carved from stone. "Later," he says, voice like ice. "This is not the time." "I think it's exactly the time," I shoot back. My hands shake, but I keep my chin up, because right now it feels like everyone in this town knows more about my life than I do. Silence. The fire pops in the grate. Rain claws at the open window. Rowan looks at me, really looks, and something like regret flickers through the steel in his eyes. "You shouldn't be here," he says quietly. "Not tonight. Not like this." "You said that already," I whisper. "On the phone. In the forest. In the truck." He flinches. "I tried to warn you. And my father sent me anyway," I say. "Because of some blood pact he made the night I was born." Cade's gaze snaps to Rowan. "You told her?" "I told her the truth I could in the time I had," Rowan bites out. "The truth," I repeat, tasting the word. "Let's have more of that." My heart is pounding so hard it hurts. My shoulder aches, but the pain is distant. Every part of me feels like it's vibrating at a higher frequency now, tuned to something I don't understand. "Turn back," the phone call had said. "You don't belong in Ridgecrest. Not tonight. But I'm here, bound to the alpha whose wolf recognized me before I even knew his name. I'm not leaving," I say, surprising myself with the certainty in my voice. "Not until I know why I was promised to you. Not until I know what this curse is. Not until I understand what you mean when you say mate, like it's both a blessing and a death sentence. Rowan's eyes flash. Careful, little human, he murmurs. You might not like the answers. I step closer, close enough that the heat of him brushes my skin again, close enough that the bond pulses in time with my heart. Too late, I say. I already don't like any of this. Liking it isn't the point. Something shifts in his expression. Respect, reluctant and edged with something hungrier. He exhales slowly, as if surrendering to a decision he's fought for a long time. Fine, he says. You want the truth? His gaze slides briefly to Cade and Lena, then back to me, anchoring. Tomorrow, at moonrise, I'll tell you everything. About the curse, about the pact, about what it means to be the Alpha's mate. Why not now? I demand. Because if I start, he says quietly, I won't stop. And you've already had more than enough for one night. He's right. I hate that he's right. My body is starting to come down from the adrenaline high, leaving me shaky and cold. The room tilts a little at the edges. Cade notices. She needs to rest, he says, voice gentler now. And you need to stop bleeding everywhere. Only then do I see the gash along Rowan's ribs, seeping through his torn shirt. Blood streaks his side, dark against the pale skin. You're hurt, I breathe. He glances down like he'd forgotten. It'll heal. Will it? I challenge. Or will you just pretend it doesn't hurt because that's what alphas do? His mouth curves, humorless. You have a lot to say for someone who almost got eaten twice tonight. I make up for terror with commentary. He huffs a breath. It might almost be a laugh if it weren't so tired. Cade steps forward. I'll take her to a room, he offers. Away from all this. Away from Rowan. The bond protests immediately, tightening like a fist in my chest. Rowan feels it. I see it in the way his eyes darken in the flex of his jaw. Mine, that look says. Not yet, I answer silently. Not until I choose. I'll go, I say aloud, voice softer now. Exhaustion drags at my bones. But I'm holding you to that promise, Rowan Hale. Moonrise. No more half-truths. His gaze softens. Just for me. Moonrise, he agrees. Cade touches my elbow gently, guiding me toward the door. As we walk away, I feel Rowan's eyes on my back, the bond humming like a low song under my skin. I don't look back. If I do, I'm not sure I'll be able to leave the room at all. Outside, the storm is already beginning to fade. But inside me, the real storm is just beginning. One made of blood oaths, old curses, and a bond I never asked for with the Alpha who dropped to his knees and begged me to bring him back from the wolf. Chapter 6. The room that wasn't meant for me. Cade leads me up a shadowed staircase, the old wood creaking beneath our feet. My shoulder throbs again, the pain returning now that Rowan isn't touching me, now that the bond's warmth isn't bleeding into my skin. The house is too quiet, like everyone is listening, or watching. The walls feel alive with secrets. Cade slows his steps and glances back at me. How's the shoulder? Still attached. My attempt at humor sputters. Hurts less than it did. That's the bond. He stops on the landing, waiting until I'm eye level with him. When an alpha and his mate get close enough, pain shifts, moves, weakens. That sounds convenient. It's not. His tone is sharper than I expect. Mates share hurt, Mara. Not just physical, emotional, mental. It's not a gift. It's a responsibility. I swallow. I don't want responsibility with Rowan Hale. I don't want anything with him. Except Images slam into me. Rowan on his knees. The silver in his eyes when he said mate. The way his body shook when he held himself back from shifting. His voice breaking when he said please. Heat coils low in my stomach. I shove it down. Cade stops at the end of a long hallway. A single door waits there, half open, soft light spilling across the floor. "This is the best guest room we have," he says. "Normally, we wouldn't let a human stay in the main house." He breaks off. Heat climbs into my cheeks. "Because I'm... what? Too breakable?" "Because you're too tempting." His expression twists. "For the wolves, I mean." "Right." I clear my throat. "Sure." He opens the door wider. The room is warm, firelit, draped in deep greens and browns. A massive 4-poster bed dominates the far wall, its curtains half drawn. A window overlooks the storm-dark forest, moonlight bleeding across the glass like a wound. It's beautiful. It's also terrifying. Cade steps inside first, flicking on a small lamp. "There's a washroom through there," he says, pointing, "and clothes in the wardrobe. Not fancy, but dry." Dry sounds amazing. He nods once, then turns to leave. But his hand pauses on the door. "Mara." His voice is quiet, lower than before. "Don't be alone with Rowan tonight." My stomach drops. "Why?" Cade hesitates, tension tightening the muscles in his jaw. Then, "Because he'd never forgive himself if something happened between you while he's this unstable." A rush of heat hits my face. "Cade," I choke. "Nothing is going to—" He feels the bond more intensely than you do. He meets my eyes, his own a storm of conflict. And he hasn't let a mate near him since... He cuts off abruptly. "Since what?" I press. Silence. His jaw locks. "Good night, Mara." He closes the door before I can ask again, alone in a room that isn't mine. Rain patters softly against the window now, gentler. The storm is leaving, sliding down the mountain toward the valley. I sink onto the edge of the bed. Finally, alone. Finally still. My body instantly rebels. My injured shoulder throbs. My head spins. My heartbeat feels wrong. Slightly too fast. Slightly off rhythm. I press a hand to my chest. It's like something is pulling on me again. Something outside the door. Someone. "Rowan," I whisper before I can stop myself. The bond hums. The air seems to tighten, as if the house itself is hearing his name. God, what is happening to me? I stand and move toward the washroom, trying to shake the feeling off. The mirror above the sink is fogged slightly from the warm air, and when I wipe my palm across it, I barely recognize myself. Wind-tangled hair, pale face, eyes too bright, dress torn and blood-smeared. I look like someone halfway between worlds, a girl the forest almost claimed. I turn on the faucet and splash warm water onto my face. My shoulder screams at the movement. I grit my teeth and work carefully, washing away dirt, blood, fear. When I step back into the room, my damp skin prickles with cold. The fire casts moving shadows across the walls. I open the wardrobe, pulling out the clothes Cade mentioned. A loose black sweater, soft cotton shorts. Both smell faintly of cedar, and something smoky and masculine. My cheeks heat. They smell like him. I shouldn't care. I shouldn't breathe in deeper. I shouldn't let myself feel anything. None of this is real. None of this is mine. But my fingers tremble anyway as I change. When I finally crawl under the heavy blankets, the warmth is immediate, enveloping. I let out a soft groan as my body releases tension I hadn't realized I was holding. For the first time in hours, the fear fades. But something else grows in its place. Heat, awareness, a hum under my skin, the bond. It hasn't stopped pulsing since Rowan shifted back. It hasn't stopped calling me. I squeeze my eyes shut. Stop thinking about him, I whisper into the pillow. But of course that doesn't work. The house breathes. I'm drifting towards sleep when I feel it. Not a sound, not a touch, but a shift. A weight in the air outside my door. My breath catches. The doorknob doesn't turn. The floorboards don't creak. But I know. Someone is standing there. My heart surges into my throat. Cade? Silence. The air vibrates. My pulse leaps. The bond thrums. Hot, demanding, impossible to ignore. Not Cade. Him. I sit up too fast. Pain spikes down my shoulder. Rowan? My voice is barely a breath. Still nothing. But the weight of his presence presses against the door like a second heartbeat. He's not entering. He's not speaking. He's just there. A shadow. A wolf guarding a den that isn't his. A man torn between wanting to stay and forcing himself not to. I swing my feet to the floor, drawn toward the door, before I make the decision consciously. 1 step. 2. The bond pulses with every movement. My fingers brush the cool wood. Why are you there? I whisper. And finally, Rowan speaks. His voice is low, ragged, barely human. To make sure you're safe. My breath shivers out. You don't have to, I whisper. Cade said, Cade isn't Alpha. Something inside me twists. His presence darkens, thickens, like a storm pressed into a man's shape. Did you sleep? He asks softly. No. A faint exhale. Neither did I. The scent of him, pine, smoke, heat, seems to seep under the door, filling the room, filling my lungs. The bond tightens again. Rowan, I press my forehead to the door. I can feel you. A growl, quiet and devastating, vibrates through the wood between us. I know, he says. The bond is louder tonight. Because you almost shifted? Because I saw another wolf go for your throat, he snaps, then forces his voice low again. And because you touched me when I was half gone. I swallow hard. Should I apologize? No. The word is rough. Immediate. Never for that. Silence wraps around us, thick as the night outside. I wasn't supposed to meet you this way, Rowan murmurs. Not broken, not cursed, not hunted. I close my eyes. I wasn't supposed to be anyone's mate, I reply quietly. Yet, here we are. A sound leaves him. Half laugh, half pain. You're braver than you think, little human. I don't know why, but the words make my heart crack open the smallest bit. Are you going to come inside? I ask before I can stop myself. Silence. Then, no. His voice is strained. If I see you right now, with the bond like this, with your scent all over this room, my breath stutters. I won't be able to leave. Heat floods me so fast I grip the doorknob to stay upright. Then stay, I whisper. A sharp inhale from the other side of the door. Like the word hit him like a blow, like it cost him something to hear it. Mara, he says, voice breaking on my name. Don't tempt me. The bond surges, hard enough to make my knees weaken. I open my mouth. I don't know what I'm about to say. But before the words leave me, Rowan speaks one more time. Tomorrow, he murmurs. Moonrise. I'll give you the truth. Then his footsteps retreat down the hall, each one sounding like it's tearing something inside him. The house exhales. I collapse back onto the bed. The bond hums quietly, insistently, like a song I haven't learned the words to yet. And I know, tomorrow, whatever he tells me will either save us or destroy everything we've started to feel. Chapter 7. The curse in his blood. I wake with a jolt, not because of a sound, not because of movement, because of him. The bond flares like someone whispered my name directly into my skin. Warm, insistent, impossible to ignore. My heart stumbles, and for a second I'm not sure if I'm fully awake or caught between worlds. Moonlight spills across the room in a pale sheet, brushing over the heavy curtains. The storm is gone. The house is quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that makes the air press against your ears. I push myself upright, wincing as my shoulder twinges. Moonrise. It hits me like a slap of cold water. Tonight, Rowan will tell me everything. About the curse, about the pact, about what I am to him. My pulse quickens. I stand, padding across the chilled floorboards toward the window. The sky outside is clear now, washed clean by rain. The moon hangs full and white over the dark trees, a glowing coin suspended above the ridge. A knock breaks the silence. Soft. 2 taps. Measured. My breath catches. I pull the door open and blink. It's not Rowan. It's Cade. He looks exhausted, shirt wrinkled, hair damp from what looks like a recent wash that clearly didn't fix anything. There's a bruise along his jaw and dried blood on his sleeve. "You look like you fought a truck," I whisper. "Several trucks," he mutters. "With teeth." I huff a breath that could almost be a laugh. "Are you okay?" He blinks like the question surprises him. "I'm still alive. That counts for something." His gaze flicks past me, into the room, checking for danger, or maybe checking to see if Rowan is inside. When he finds we're alone, he exhales. A small, barely noticeable release of tension. "You ready?" he asks. "For what?" "For Moonrise. Rowan sent me to bring you." I hesitate. Shouldn't the Alpha be the one who... No. The word is sharp, final. He shouldn't come here right now. A strange mix of disappointment and relief floods me. Cade shifts his weight. He's been pacing all day. Hasn't spoken to anyone except to growl at them. He'll tell you why. But he didn't trust himself to be the one knocking on your door. The bond pulses in my chest, warm and aching. Is he still... I swallow. Unstable? Cade looks away. He's trying not to be. That's not an answer. But it also is. "Come on," he says gently. "Don't keep him waiting. You know how he gets." I'm not sure if I do, but I step into the hallway anyway. Cade walks beside me, slow enough to match my steps. "I heard what Lena said," I murmur after a moment. "About the council. About the curse." His shoulders stiffen. Ignore her. I can't ignore something everyone seems terrified of. He sighs. "Mara, my brother has enemies. Old ones. Not all of them are outside Ridgecrest." "Inside?" His jaw tightens. "I didn't say that. But you didn't deny it." He gives me a weary look. "You have a way of cornering people with questions." "Bad habit. Dangerous habit," he corrects softly. We descend a narrow staircase, lit only by lanterns. Shadows stretch long across the walls. The house hums with quiet life. Footsteps in far hallways, murmured voices behind closed doors, the crackle of unseen fireplaces. Every time someone notices me, they stop and stare. Some curious, some suspicious, some frightened. My skin prickles. "Why are they looking at me like that?" I whisper. "Because they can smell your bond with the Alpha." I stop mid-step. And that's... bad?" Cade meets my gaze. Something like sympathy in his eyes. "It's... historic." That is absolutely not comforting. He offers a faint, apologetic smile. "Just breathe. Rowan won't let anything happen to you. Not here. Not while he's Alpha. Not while he's Alpha." The words echo ominously in my chest. As we round a corner, Cade pauses and rests a hand on my arm. "If he scares you tonight..." His voice lowers. Tell him. He listens to you. I swallow. Hard. And if he scares you? I ask softly. Cade's eyes flicker. He wouldn't dare. But something in his voice wavers. We reach a heavy door carved with the Hale family crest, twisted cedar branches and the outline of a wolf. Cade knocks once, then twice. Rowan's voice comes from the other side. Bring her in. My pulse leaps. Cade opens the door and steps aside, letting me pass. I inhale and step into his world. The Alpha at moonrise. The room is much darker than I expect. A single lantern burns low near the stone fireplace, its flame casting gold onto the rough walls. A round table stands to one side, covered in old books, scrolls, and jars filled with herbs and things I don't want to think about. And near the far window stood Rowan. His back is to me. His shoulders are rigid. His hands rest braced on the window frame. Moonlight spills over him, casting silver across the black of his hair. He turns his head at the sound of my steps. I stop breathing. He looks undone. Not in a violent way. Not like the half-shifted wolf who begged me to bring him back. No. This is another kind of unraveling. Quiet. Heavy. Haunted. Mira, he says, voice rough and low. Come here. Cade gives me a last look, something halfway between a warning and a plea, before closing the door behind me. I approach slowly, carefully. Rowan watches every step, his silver eyes bright in the moonlight. When I stop a few feet from him, he turns fully. Mara, he says again, softer this time. I need to tell you the truth, all of it. I wet my lips. Good, because I'm tired of half answers. He gives a small, pained smile. You're braver than I expected. I'm more terrified than I look, I whisper. That too. He lifts a hand, hesitates, and then lets it fall again. You asked what the curse is, he begins. My breath catches. And why your father made the pact with my family. He inhales deeply, as if pulling the words up from a place he never wanted to return to. My bloodline is cursed, Rowan says quietly. The Hale Alpha falls in love only once, ever. One mate, one bond, one chance. My stomach twists. That's not a curse. That sounds... You didn't let me finish. His voice tightens. The Hale Alpha also dies for that love. Cold shoots down my spine. What? I whisper. It's a prophecy older than Ridgecrest, Rowan says, pacing slowly. Every Hale Alpha who finds their true mate is killed. By rival pack, by betrayal, by the curse itself. It doesn't matter how it happens. It always happens. My pulse races. And it always happens young. I press a hand to my mouth. Rowan looks at me, eyes darkening. I wasn't meant to meet my mate until the next blood moon. Months from now. I was supposed to have time. Time to prepare. Time to avoid me. Time to die. My stomach churns. But the bond woke early, he continues. Too early. And now the curse is moving faster than it ever has. How do you know? I whisper. His jaw clenches. Because my control is slipping. He closes his eyes. You saw what happened tonight. That wasn't me losing my temper. That was the curse pushing the shift. My breath trembles. Because of me? He steps closer. No. He cups the back of a chair like he needs to grip something. Because of fate. Because the Hale Alpha's mate was chosen before she was born. And once the mate is near... His eyes lock onto mine. The curse awakens. Whether we want it or not. Tears burn at the corners of my eyes. Rowan, I didn't ask for this. I know, he whispers. Neither did I. Silence stretches out between us. Long, heavy, trembling. I take a shaky breath. So my father promised me to you. Because Because the only way to break the curse is with a binding pact made before the mate bond forms, Rowan says. Your father made the pact to protect his bloodline, and mine. So if we're bonded, you die, I whisper. No. His voice cracks. If we're bonded fully, I live. I freeze. What? The prophecy isn't complete, Rowan says, stepping closer, voice gaining intensity. The Hale Alpha dies unless his mate chooses him freely, unless she binds herself willingly to him before the curse matures. I swallow, dizzy, and if she doesn't? His expression softens, aching, raw. Then the Alpha dies, he says quietly, and the mate follows soon after. The world tilts. That's why the Blackthorn Pack came tonight, he continues. They know the curse better than anyone. If they kill you before the bond stabilizes. He gestures to himself. They kill me. My knees weaken. He steps forward like he's fighting the urge to catch me. Mara, he says, voice shaking, I didn't want this for you. I didn't want destiny or fear or blood binding you to me. You deserve choice. And I was going to give you that choice later, when I had better control. When you were safe. And now? My voice cracks. His eyes burn, silver bright and unbearably vulnerable. Now I need you to know the truth before you decide. He takes one more step. We're inches apart. Mara. His breath brushes my cheek. If you choose me, you save my life. Something hot and painful twists inside me. And if I don't, I whisper. He closes his eyes. Then I won't live to see the next full moon. The bond pulses, deep, urgent, desperate. Mara, Rowan murmurs, opening his eyes again, silver, bright, and blazing. I won't ask you to choose now, or tomorrow, but soon. The curse won't wait. His voice lowers to a trembling whisper, and neither will my heart. My breath catches, because behind all the warnings, all the curses, all the violence and fear, his eyes hold something I didn't expect. Not possession, not destiny. Hope. Raw, fragile, terrified, but real. Before I can speak, before I can breathe, another voice breaks through the room. Cade Hale, someone shouts from the hall. The council is here. Early. Rowan goes rigid. My heart drops. Cade throws the door open breathless. They want Mara, tonight. A chill races down my spine. What does that mean? I whisper. Rowan steps in front of me immediately, body tense, voice dripping lethal promise. It means, he growls, they're here to decide if the mate bond is allowed to survive. And if I listen closely, just beneath the fury in his voice, I hear something else. Fear. Chapter 8. The council that hunts mates. They arrive like a cold wind, even before the doors open downstairs. I feel them. A shift in pressure, a tightening in the air, a pulse of ancient authority that makes the hair on my arms stand up. The Council of Ridgecrest. Not a group, a verdict, a threat, a power older than the Hale line itself. Cade stands in the doorway, chest rising fast, eyes flicking between Rowan and me, with something dangerously close to fear. They're in the atrium, he says, voice low. Alpha Rowan. They demanded to see the mate. The mate. Me. Rowan steps in front of me so fast I jolt. No. His voice drops into a growl so deep the window panes vibrate. She isn't stepping 1 foot in front of them. Cade shakes his head. You don't have a choice. If we refuse, they'll call it a violation of pact law. Let them. Rowan's jaw flexes. I'll tear out the throat of the first elder who so much as... Rowan, Cade snaps. Stop, please. Silence cuts through the room like a knife. Rowan stiffens at the plea in his brother's voice. Cade lowers his head. They'll strip your title. They'll appoint a new alpha from the elder bloodlines. And they'll take Mara away. You know what that means. Rowan goes still, completely still, and the meaning crashes over me a second later. They'll kill me, because killing, the mate frees the Hail Alpha from the bond, erases the prophecy's power, resets the curse for the next generation. I swallow hard. Why would they want to kill me? Rowan turns toward me, slowly, like he's afraid to break. His eyes are molten silver. Because the council doesn't believe humans can survive the bond, he says. They think you'll weaken me. I won't, I whisper. His expression fractures, just for a heartbeat. I know. Cade shifts uncomfortably. They also think the bond shouldn't have awakened early. They see it as an omen, a bad one. Of course they do, I mutter, because nothing about this night has been normal. Rowan exhales sharply, half furious, half heartbroken. Cade, he says roughly, tell them the Alpha will come down alone. Cade's eyes widen. Rowan, now. Cade hesitates, then nods and vanishes down the hall. As soon as he's gone, Rowan turns to me with a look so intense I feel it in my bones. I'm going to meet them, he says quietly, but you're staying here. My breath catches. What? No, you can't face them alone. I've faced worse. His voice is steady, but his hands tremble. I step toward him. Rowan. He backs up immediately. Like touching me would be too much. Mara. His voice breaks on my name. If they see what you are to me, if they sense the bond the way I do, they'll decide you're too dangerous to live. My stomach knots, but I didn't choose any of this. I know. And you didn't either. His jaw clenches. No. So why do they get to decide? He gives a soft, devastated laugh. Because the council always decides. The prophecy is older than the Hail name. Older than these mountains. The elders believe they're protecting Ridgecrest. By killing me, I whisper. Yes. Something hot rises in my chest. Fear. Anger. Something sharper. Rowan, you can't let them. Mara. He steps closer. One hand lifts, hesitates, then cups the side of my face. Fire streaks through me. He swallows hard. If anything happens, if anything goes wrong downstairs. Nothing's happening, I cut in, breath shaking. You're coming back. We both know you're coming back. He leans his forehead to mine. The bond surges, warm, electric, overwhelming. Then listen carefully, he murmurs. If they try to separate us, if they threaten you, run. Not out of Ridgecrest. You won't make it 5 steps out there alone. Run to the southern cellar. The cellar? There's a crawl passage behind the wine racks. Follow it until you reach the iron gate. Don't stop. Don't talk. Don't look back. His voice cracks. Mara, promise me. I'm not running from you. It's not from me. It's from them. Promise. My throat tightens. I nod. I promise. Something in his face eases, but only barely. He pulls, back slowly, as if tearing himself away from gravity, and heads toward the door. I grab his wrist. He freezes. Rowan, I whisper, come back to me. His breath stutters. He doesn't turn around, but his voice comes low, fractured. I always do. Then he's gone. The council's judgment. The mansion's atrium is 2 floors down. I shouldn't be able to hear anything from here, but I hear everything. Raised voices, low growls, the crackle of old magic, the sharp, cold tone of someone giving orders who shouldn't have them. And Rowan. Rowan's voice, cutting through them like a blade. Not one step closer to her. My pulse slams against my ribs. I inch toward the door and press my ear against the wood. Another voice, old, gravelly, responds, Alpha Rowan, You forget your place. This council has governed Ridgecrest since before your bloodline ever claimed these woods. My place, Rowan snarls, is between you and my mate. My breath catches. A second elder speaks. This one female, a voice smooth and sharp as a knife. You admit it then. The bond is active. I don't need to admit anything, Rowan snaps. You can smell it the moment you walk in the room. A murmur of agreement, one that sounds hungry. A low growl rumbles through Rowan's chest. You will not touch her, he warns. The elder woman laughs softly, cold, cruel. We will inspect her, and if she is a threat to Ridgecrest, she's not. We will eliminate her. Silence. Not real silence. A hanging, breathless stillness. My hands shake against the door. Then Rowan speaks, and his voice is no longer wolf or man, but something ancient and dangerous. You lay a finger on her. A pause, trembling with violence. And I will burn your council to ash. My breath falters. Someone gasps. Someone else snarls. Then a sharp crack splits the air. Magic. A pulse so strong it rattles the floor beneath my feet. Rowan roars. A furious, agonized sound that tears through the house. I yank the door open. Cade is halfway up the stairs, wild-eyed, waving his arms. Mara, no. Get back. I ignore him and rush down the hallway. A second pulse shakes the air, this one colder, sharper, as if someone is trying to subdue the alpha. I hit the bottom of the staircase and skid toward the atrium doors, just as they blow open. Magic whips outward, slamming wind and sparks through the hall. Cade grabs me and drags me behind a marble pillar as shards of lantern glass explode. Are you insane? He hisses. They'll kill you for stepping in. I don't care. Rowan's... My voice cuts off when the smoke clears. Rowan is on his knees, his hands clawed against the floor, his breath ragged, his eyes blazing silver but bleeding pain. Magic chains, thin as threads but glowing bright, coil around his arms, crackling with elder sigils. 4 council elders stand in a semicircle around him, old, cold, unyielding. Mara, Rowan gasps when he sees me. Get back. The elders turn. I feel their attention like knives along my skin. The oldest one, a man with white hair braided down his chest, steps forward. So, he murmurs, eyes narrowing, this is the human girl who woke the curse. I freeze. Cade tenses beside me. Rowan snarls, straining against the magic. Don't look at her. But the elder is already stepping closer, examining, assessing, judging. She is fragile, he says flatly, untrained, unchanged. Her presence destabilizes the alpha. The bond is too strong, too early. I told you, Rowan snaps. She's not a threat. The woman elder shakes her head. No, she is the danger. Mara, Cade whispers urgently, tugging my arm. We need to get you out of here, now. Not yet, I breathe. Not while he's... The elder raises a hand. Magic gathers. I feel it, like ice crawling up my spine, like fingers closing around my throat. Human, he says, voice turning to stone. On behalf of the Council of Ridgecrest. Rowan jerks violently against the chains. Don't you say it? We condemn you. The room drops into silence. My heartbeat stops. Rowan's face contorts in horror, muscles straining hard enough to tear. No! The elder lifts his palm. Magic flares. Bright, cold, fatal. Rowan roars my name. M-A-R-A. Cade shoves me behind him. I raise my hands in instinctive defense. Too late. The elder unleashes the spell. A blast of freezing power flies straight toward my chest, and the world erupts in blazing white. But it's not the elder's magic. It's mine, or Rowan's, or the bond's. A shockwave explodes outward from my body. Pure light. Pure heat. pure instinct, shattering the council's spell midair and sending all 4 elders flying back across the room. Cade stares at me like he's seeing a ghost. Rowan stops breathing. The elders crash into the stone walls, stunned and disoriented, and I stand in the center of the atrium, heart pounding, hands still glowing faintly with silver light, the same silver as Rowan's eyes. What did... I choke. What just... Rowan's voice is that of a man witnessing the impossible. Mara... He stares at the light fading around my fingertips. You just cast defensive magic. I can't do magic. You just did. The elders stir, slowly, angrily. Rowan's gaze snaps to them, then back to me. Mara, he says urgently, desperately, run. The bond in my chest pulses like a heartbeat, and I realize something terrifying. The council won't just punish Rowan. They won't just condemn me. They will kill us both. Because I'm not just human anymore. The bond woke something inside me, and the elders saw it. They'll never allow it. Rowan shouts again, "Run!" I turn and sprint for my life. Chapter 9. The run through. The Wolfwoods I run. I don't think. I don't breathe. I don't look back. The atrium spins behind me in a blur of shattered lanterns and stunned elders, and Rowan's voice, raw, desperate, breaking. Mara! Go! My bare feet slap the cold stone. Cade's shouted warning echoes down the hall. The house shakes with the force of multiple wolves shifting at once. The moment I hit the staircase, the bond ignites in my chest like a flare. Run. Faster. They're coming. Go. I don't question it. I fly up the steps 2 at a time, my lungs burning, my shoulders screaming. The corridor stretches ahead like a tunnel of shadows. Torches flicker violently along the walls, blown sideways by the force of magic rippling through the mansion. Behind me, the elders are screaming spells. Rowan is roaring. Furniture splinters. Walls crack. The Hale House is becoming a battlefield. I swing into the east hallway, just in time for a heavy, clawed shape to crash down in front of me. A wolf. Massive. Black. Eyes glowing red with spellfire. Not Hale. Not Rowan. Council-controlled. It snarls at me, ears flattened, foam dripping from its jaws. My blood chills. I stumble back, heart slamming, but the bond surges up like a shield. Move. I leap sideways as the wolf lunges, jaws snapping an inch from my leg. Its claws rake the wall, ripping deep gouges into plaster. I scramble to my feet and sprint again. The wolf spins and gives chase. I can hear its paws hammering the floor, gaining distance. My vision blurs. Left, the bond urges. Left. Now. I skid around a blind corner and smash into a solid chest. Strong arms catch me before I fall. I scream until I hear his voice. Mara, it's me. Cade. He grabs my wrist. Come on. What about Rowan? My voice breaks on the word. He's buying you time. But the council wolves are shifting. Move. He drags me down a narrow hallway I didn't even see before, one hidden behind a half-open tapestry. It's barely wide enough for 2 people. Cramped, dark, smelling of cedar and old stone. The wolf behind us slams into the wall, with full force, howling with rage. Dust rains from the ceiling. Cade pulls me faster. Don't slow down. We twist through the passage, turning left, then right. The noises behind us multiply. Multiple wolves now, claws scraping stone, heavy bodies slamming furniture aside. How many are there? I gasp. Enough to kill an alpha, Cade mutters. More than enough to kill his mate. I'm not his mate, I pant. You keep telling yourself that? Shadows whip past us. The whole house groans as if under strain. Magic pulses again. Cold, sharp, slicing through the air. "Cade," I whisper. "They're using spells on him." His jaw clenches. I know. We reach another stairwell. Thin, steep, spiraling downward. Cade shoves me in front. "Go! Down!" I run, gripping the railing as the staircase trembles under the weight of wolves crashing above us. As we descend, I hear something that freezes my blood. Rowan's roar, raw, ragged, inhuman, followed by a sound like the house tearing apart. Cade curses under his breath. He's shifting, full shift. Damn it, Rowan. I stumble. Is that bad? It means he's lost control. Cold floods my veins. He'll kill the elders, Cade says grimly, but they'll kill him first. No, I whisper. No, they won't. Mira, he promised he'd come back. My voice cracks. My legs almost give out. Cade grabs my elbow, steadying me. Mara, Rowan isn't worried about dying. He's worried about losing you. Tears sting my eyes. Then I have to go back. No. Cade grips both my shoulders, forcing me to look at him. If you go back, he'll tear the whole house apart. He'll kill the council. He'll kill half the pack. And when the sun rises, they'll come after you. My breath trembles. I don't care. I'm not leaving him. You have to, Cade says, voice softening. Just until he's stable. Please. The bond churns inside me, gut deep, urgent, refusing to calm. But Cade isn't lying. If I go back now, Rowan will destroy everything, and the council will destroy us both. Where are we going? I whisper. To the only place in Ridgecrest where their magic can't follow you. We reach the bottom of the staircase, where a heavy iron door waits. Cade rips open the latch and shoves the door aside. Cold, damp air rushes out. The cellar, he says. The southern one. It's neutral ground. Old magic. Rowan's instructions slam into my mind. Run to the southern cellar. Don't look back. Cade, thank you. He nods once, jaw tight. You're family now, whether the council likes it or not. I almost smile. Almost. We step inside. The cellar is enormous. Stone floors, rows of oak barrels, torches flickering along the walls. And beyond the barrels, a dark archway leading into a narrower, older tunnel. Go, Cade urges. Follow that path. I'll hold them off. I whirl. No, you can't stay and fight them alone. I'm not alone, he says quietly. Rowan is still fighting, and the pack is stirring. But, Mara... Cade places his hand over mine. Warm, solid, desperate. You're the only thing Rowan's fighting for. Don't let them take you. My throat tightens. Before I can answer, a thunderous explosion rips through the floors above. Dust rains down like ash. A furious howl follows, one that vibrates through my bones. Rowan. Cade's eyes widen. He's almost gone. They're pushing him into a killing shift. Mara, go! 2 wolves drop from the stairwell above. Snarling, red-eyed, council-marked. Cade shoves me into the tunnel. Run! I run. My breath comes in wild, broken gasps as I sprint into the darkness. Behind me, Cade's roar, claws, magic. A fight I can't see but feel like a blow to my chest. The bond flares, painfully. I cry out, stumbling. I feel Rowan. Feel him tearing through spells. Feel him growling my name. Feel his panic, his rage, his need. Mara. 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 Rowan, I scream back, tears blurring my vision. I'm here. I'm here. The tunnel swallows my voice. The air grows colder, the stone walls narrowing. Torches sputter behind me, casting flickering shadows. My shoulder screams with every step, but I push harder, because the bond isn't whispering anymore. It's begging. Come back. Come back. Come back. The tunnel opens into a tiny chamber, and at the far wall, a massive iron gate. Just like Rowan said, I stumble toward it, reaching. The bond snaps violently inside my chest. I freeze. Then, a roar, shaking stone, splintering wood. A sound so powerful it knocks dust from the ceiling. Not a wolf's roar. A man's. A dying man's. No, I gasp, clutching the gate. Rowan, please. The bond pulls so hard I collapse to my knees. Something is happening to him. Something worse than a shift. Worse than the curse. Worse than the council. The bond pulses again. Come back. And I understand in a split second. If Rowan dies tonight, I will feel it. All of it. Every moment. The prophecy doesn't wait for choice or fate or ceremony. The bond is already active. Already claiming. Already binding. Already killing. My chest seizes. No! I shove myself up. No, no, no! Another roar rips from above, much weaker. Mara! His voice cracks like something breaking. Don't let them! Silence. Cold, absolute, impossible silence. My heart stops. My body goes numb. Then, magic detonates above me so violently the cellar ceiling cracks, and the world drops into chaos. I scream as stone collapses, as the floor crumbles, as the bond flares bright, then blinds me, and everything goes black. Chapter 10. The Alpha Who Wouldn't Stay. Dead darkness swallows me whole. Not gentle, not quiet, but a collapsing, crushing, suffocating dark that drags me under like a riptide. Stone crashes around me. Dust fills my lungs. Cold air slices my skin. For a moment, I don't know if I'm falling or floating or dying. Then the bond snaps like a live wire. A shock floods my veins, white hot, blinding. Rowan. His name doesn't form in my mind. It detonates through me. I suck in a ragged breath, coughing hard, lungs burning. Something warm drips down my cheek, blood. My arm throbs fiercely. My shoulder screams. But I'm alive. Barely. Stone rubble pins my legs. My hands scrape against the cold floor as I try to push up. The entire cellar is broken, collapsed. Moonlight bleeding in through a jagged gap in the ceiling. Dust hangs in the air like snow. Cade. My voice cracks. Rowan. Silence answers. Not true silence. Not the quiet of an empty room, but the silence of something huge holding its breath. The bond flickers again. Weak but alive. I gasp. He's alive. It comes out like a sob. I claw at the stone trapping my legs, fingers scraping raw. Every inch is agony. But pain means I'm breathing. Breathing means I can move. Moving means I can find him. Cade, I call again louder. Cade. A groan answers, not mine. Cade. I twist toward the sound. He's half buried under fallen beams, blood running down his temple. He tries to push up and winces sharply. Mara, are you... He coughs, spitting red. Alive? Barely. I pull myself toward him, crawling over broken stone and splintered wood. What happened? The council, Rowan... Cade's face goes white. The elders... They forced him into a killing shift. His voice shakes. He went full alpha wolf. He tore through the chains, broke the spell. The house started falling apart. And Rowan, I whisper. Cade swallows hard. I don't know. The bond pulses weakly in my chest. I do. Cade's eyes widen with something like fear and hope. Then go to him. But you, I'll live, he says, even though he looks half dead. Your place is with him. Something inside me settles. Right. Of course it is. I brace my weight on shaky legs, using the wall to stand. The floor is uneven, buckled from the collapse. But there's a gap, an opening, leading into the tunnel beyond. The same tunnel Rowan told me to run through. I step toward it. Mara. Cade's voice stops me. I look back. His eyes, gray like Rowan's but softer, hold a warning. Be careful, he whispers. If he's still shifted, he might not know you're you. He will, I say, with more certainty than I feel. Because if the bond woke something inside me, surely it woke something inside him too. The catacombs beneath Ridgecrest, the tunnel beyond the broken cellar is old, older than the Hale mansion itself. Roots break through the ceiling. Cold air seeps through cracks. My breath fogs in front of me, and the deeper I go, the louder the bond hums. Not in words, not in thoughts, in feeling, fear, pain, anger. Rowan's emotions ripple through me like an echo. Every pulse twists my stomach. Every throb tightens my breath. He's hurting. He's alive, but he's hurting. Rowan, I whisper into the dark. A growl answers. Not ahead, not behind, above. My skin prickles. Dust sprinkles down from the ceiling. A shadow shifts overhead. Large, silent, watching. Rowan, I whisper, almost afraid to say his name out loud. A low, guttural sound rolls through the stone like thunder. Not a council wolf, not Blackthorn. This sound, I know it. My pulse stutters. I press my hand to the wall, heart pounding. Rowan, I repeat, louder this time. It's me. Silence. Then, a heavy thud on the stone above me. Another. The ceiling cracks. Rowan, stop. The stone splits open. A massive shape drops into the tunnel. Landing so close I feel the shockwave through my bones. Dust erupts around us. I stumble back, throwing my arms up to shield my face. When it clears, I see him, the alpha wolf, huge, silver-eyed, covered in blood, none of it mine, twice the size of any wolf I've ever seen. Power rolls off him in waves, scorching hot. He snarls, a deep, echoing sound that vibrates the walls. His claws scrape against the stone floor, leaving deep gouges. His chest heaves with each breath, fury shaking his frame. He's barely holding on to himself. The curse is still inside him, tearing. My pulse beats wildly. My body trembles. The wolf takes a step forward. A warning growl rumbles through him. Instinctive, territorial, until he gets close enough to scent me. Then he stops, frozen. His nostrils flare. Silver eyes widen. His muscles go rigid. The bond hits us both like a shockwave. I gasp as warmth floods my chest. The wolf's ears flick forward. A soft whine escapes him. He knows me. Relief crashes through me so hard my knees nearly buckle. Slowly, carefully, I raise both hands. It's okay, I whisper. I'm here. Another soft, broken sound leaves him. The wolf steps forward. One step. Then another. Careful. Slow. Afraid of frightening me. And when he reaches me, he lowers his massive head and presses his forehead to my chest. A cry rips from my throat. Rowan. My fingers sink into thick fur. Warm. Coarse. Familiar. He trembles under my touch. Not from rage. From relief. My eyes blur with tears. You're alive. You're, oh God, Rowan. He nuzzles my cheek. Soft. Tender. The gentlest thing this monstrous wolf could possibly do. The bond thrums hot and deep, pulling us closer. Shift back, I whisper, cupping his jaw. Please, come back to me. His body shudders violently. Silver floods his eyes. Then, bones crack. Fur recedes. His shape twists and bends. I step back, heart hammering, as the wolf shrinks into a man. A very naked, very bruised, very breathless man, on all fours on the cold stone floor. Rowan lifts his head. His silver eyes lock on mine. Mara. His voice is raw, rasping. I felt you run. I felt you fall. I thought... His voice cracks completely. He drags in a shaking breath. I thought I lost you. I drop to my knees in front of him. You didn't. I grab his face, forcing him to look at me. Rowan Hale, you didn't lose me. His hands shake violently as he cups my waist, pulling me against him. Our foreheads touch. Our breaths mingle. The bond pulses hard enough to hurt. He whispers, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." For what? For almost dying before I could tell you He stops, freezes. The words hang between us, unspoken, on the edge of everything. My breath shudders. Before I can ask, before he can finish, a faint echo travels down the tunnel. Footsteps, magic crackling, voices, the council. Rowan goes rigid. His hands tighten around me protectively. "They're coming," he murmurs, "and they won't stop this time." A cold chill races down my spine. "Rowan, what do we do?" He pulls back slightly, just enough to meet my gaze fully. Not afraid, not uncertain, determined. "Mara," he says softly, "the only way they'll stop hunting us is if we complete the bond." My heart stops. Complete. The bond? He nods once. His voice drops to a whisper that shakes the air itself. "Mate me." My lips part, breath trembling. "Rowan, I don't." "If we bond fully," he whispers urgently, "the curse breaks. The council loses all authority over you, over us, and no one, no elder, no wolf, no prophecy can ever separate us again." My pulse slams in my throat. The bond surges. Rowan's thumb brushes my cheek, trembling, reverent. "Mira, a plea, a promise, a confession. Choose me." Footsteps grow louder. Magic crackles closer. Time is running out. My heart is a storm. My breath is fire. My mind is a battlefield. But one truth rises above everything. I'm already his. I always was. My lips part, and just as the words leave my mouth, the council arrives. Chapter 11. The mate bond, chosen in blood. I don't get to say the words. I don't even get to breathe them. The moment my lips part, the tunnel behind Rowan erupts in blinding white fire. Magic slams into the stone, exploding rock outward in a shower of dust and debris. Wind howls. Shadows twist. An icy pressure crushes my lungs. Rowan spins, dragging me behind him as the world shatters. The council has arrived. 4 figures step through the collapsing stone archway, cloaked in silver light, eyes burning with ancient runes, their bodies humming with spellcraft heavy enough to curdle the air. Elder Varen, the white-braided leader, steps forward first. His gaze lands on Rowan, then drops to me. "A human girl," he intones, voice echoing in the chamber. "Too weak for the bond, too dangerous to live." Rowan snarls, a sound more wolf than man. He pushes me behind him, shielding my body with his. "She is not yours to judge." "On the contrary," Elder Varen says coldly, "the mate bond is our right to inspect. And what you allowed tonight, a near kill shift, the collapse of your alpha control, proves the bond must be severed." Rowan's body trembles with barely contained violence. "You try to sever this bond," he growls, "and I will kill you with my bare hands." Varen's lips curl. "As you tried already? And failed?" Silver magic crackles along the tunnel walls, making the stone vibrate. The female elder steps forward next, the one with the cruel smile. "Alpha Rowan Hale," she says, "the council declares your mate unfit." "She's not unfit," Rowan roars, "and therefore she must be eliminated." The words hit me like a knife. Rowan lunges. Magic chains burst from the elder's hands, wrapping around his wrists, his chest, his throat in glowing bands. Rowan roars. The sound rattles the entire mountain, but the magic slams him to his knees. His muscles strain, veins bulging, eyes blazing silver. "No," I choke out, grabbing his shoulders. "Rowan, stop, please. I won't lose you," he snarls through clenched teeth, shaking against the chains hard enough to tear skin. "I won't. Mara, run. I'm not leaving you." The elders lift their hands. The killing spell forms. I know it. My bones know it. My blood knows it. The bond thrums with dread. Mara Hale, the elder woman intones, you are sentenced to death by council decree. Rowan screams. Magic ignites. A sphere of white fire sharpens in Elder Varen's palm, growing brighter. And I don't think. I don't breathe. I don't hesitate. I step in front of Rowan, right into the center of the spell's path. The elders pause for a fraction of a second, shocked. Then the killing magic launches straight toward my heart. Rowan roars my name. Mara. But I lift my hands. Something inside me cracks open. Not human. Not wolf. Something else. A pulse erupts from my chest. Pure silver light. The exact color of Rowan's eyes. The killing spell hits my palms and shatters. A shockwave blasts the tunnel, knocking the elders backward, ripping the chains off Rowan in one violent surge. The magic from my hands spreads like wildfire, wrapping around Rowan's wrists, his chest, his throat. But not as chains. As light. As recognition. As bond. I collapse to my knees. Rowan catches me mid-fall, arms wrapping around me. His voice isn't a roar anymore. It breaks. Mara, gods, what did you do? I didn't mean to. I gasp. I didn't want you to die. His thumb brushes my cheek, trembling. You chose me, he whispers. Yes. Tears burn my eyes. I chose you. The bond ignites. Not a spark, not a flare, but a blazing river of heat and light that floods our chests, our bones, our joined hands. Rowan gasps. His entire body shudders, and silver light blooms from his skin like fire. The curse pulses, twists, breaks. The elders scream, No, this can't. The prophecy. Rowan gathers me into his arms, pressing his forehead to mine. Mara, he breathes, voice shaking with awe and agony and devotion. We're doing it. We're breaking the curse. The bond wraps around us, not soft, not gentle, but fierce, consuming binding. Rowan pulls me into him and seals our bond with a single vow. My life is yours. And without thinking, through trembling lips, I answer, and mine is yours. The light detonates. The elders fall. The explosion of magic surges outward in a force so powerful the mountain itself seems to groan. The three closest elders are flung backward against the stone, their spells ruptured, their bodies stunned. Only Varen remains standing, barely, leaning on a staff of twisted cedar, eyes wild with fury. Impossible, he spits. A human cannot complete the bond. The curse cannot be broken. Rowan rises slowly. He doesn't shift. He doesn't roar. He doesn't bare his teeth. He simply stands, holding me upright in his arms, and the moonlight catches in his eyes like he carries the night sky inside him. When he speaks, his voice is the voice of the Alpha. No prophecy decides my fate, Rowan says quietly. The tunnel air shivers. No curse chooses my mate. Stone cracks under his bare feet. No elder takes what is mine. Varen raises his staff, chanting an ancient spell. But Rowan is faster. Silver flames erupt from his palms. Pure alpha magic. Newly awakened. He slams his hand against the ground. A shockwave rips through the tunnel, splintering Varen's staff, and sending the elder crashing backward in a heap of robes and dust. He doesn't get up. Rowan exhales. A long, shuddering breath, and pulls me against his chest. It's over, he murmurs. The bond glows soft between us, warm and steady. Alive. I lean into him, too weak to stand alone, but strong enough to lift my hand and touch his jaw. Rowan. My voice shakes. What happens now? He cups my face with a gentleness that makes my breath catch. Now, he whispers, we go home. My heart squeezes. Where? He presses a kiss to my forehead, soft, aching, reverent, and his next words unravel something deep inside me. "Wherever you are," Rowan Hale says, "that's my home." Outside the ruins, Cade stumbles into the tunnel, bruised, bleeding, dirt-streaked. "Mara!" His voice cracks with relief. "Rowan?" He freezes when he sees the silver glow around us, and then he smiles. A real, deep, unguarded smile. "You did it," he whispers. "You broke the curse." Rowan wraps an arm tighter around me, pride and awe softening his features. "No," he says quietly. "She did." My cheeks burn. "I didn't do it alone." Rowan's eyes soften. "You chose me, Mara. That saved my life." Cade clears his throat. "We should go, before the rest of the council arrives." "They can come," Rowan growls. "Let them see the bond they tried to kill." Cade grins. "There's the Alpha." Rowan shoots him a look. "Shut up." I cough. Still injured." Rowan's expression flashes feral concern. He lifts me in his arms effortlessly. "I've got you," he murmurs, voice low. "Always." Warmth blooms through me. The three of us climb out of the broken tunnel, up through the wrecked cellar, and into the open night. The moon pours silver over the forest. The storm is gone. The air tastes like pine and new beginnings. Rowan stands, beneath the moonlight holding me, the bond pulsing steady between us, the curse broken, the council defeated. For the first time since the night began, I feel safe. I rest my head against his chest. "Rowan." Sleep tugs at me. "What happens next?" He bends his head, brushing his lips against my hair. "Next," he whispers, "I claim you in front of the pack." My breath catches. "And then?" I whisper. He smiles against my temple. "And then," Rowan murmurs, "you become my Luna." The bond answers, hot, bright, and certain. I close my eyes and let myself fall into him. Chapter 12. The Luna of Ridgecrest. Dawn crawls slowly over Ridgecrest. Gold light spills across the torn earth, the broken manor, the shattered stone where the council fought and lost. The forest around us is quiet, as if the trees themselves are holding their breath. I stand on the ridge overlooking the valley, wrapped in Rowan's coat, the wind tugging at my hair. My body aches everywhere. My heart aches more. Footsteps crunch softly behind me. I don't even have to turn. The bond warms like a sunrise inside my chest. "Rowan," I whisper. He comes to stand beside me, still shirtless from the shift, bruised and steady. Silver eyes softening when they meet mine. "You're awake," he murmurs. "Barely." I breathe in his scent, pine and smoke and warm earth. But I didn't want to sleep through this. A faint smile ghosts across his lips. "You didn't." Below us, wolves gather. Dozens of them. Some shift into human form. Some stay in fur. Every one of them silent, watching, waiting. "I've never seen the pack like this," I whisper. Rowan's gaze roams over them, expression unreadable. "They're here for you. For me. For us." He turns fully, taking my hands in his. "You completed the bond. The curse broke. The council fell. Ridgecrest is free for the first time in a century. And now they want to... what? Celebrate? Judge me?" Rowan huffs a quiet laugh. "Neither." He raises my hands to his lips, kissing the bruises, the cuts, the fingers that held his face during the shift. "They're here," he murmurs against my skin, "to witness their Alpha claim his Luna." My heart stutters violently. "Rowan." "It's your choice." His voice deepens, gentles. "I won't force destiny down your throat. I won't use the bond against you. You choose me, or we walk away together. I'll give up the title if you ask. I'll leave Ridgecrest behind. I put a hand over his mouth. "Rowan Hale," I whisper, There's nowhere in this world I'd go without you. His breath catches. The bond surges warm and sure between us. I step closer, sliding my hands up his chest until they settle over his heartbeat. I choose you, I say, voice steady now. Not because fate did, not because a curse forced it. Because I did. Rowan closes his eyes like he's absorbing each word. When he opens them again, emotion shines there, raw and fierce, brighter than the sunrise. Then come, he murmurs. Let them see. He takes my hand and leads me down the ridge. The pack, booing to the Luna. As Rowan and I step into the clearing, the crowd parts. Wolves lower their heads. Humans bow their chins. The forest goes perfectly still. A young wolf in human form, barefoot, mud-streaked, drops to one knee first. Then another, and another. Then all of them. Dozens of wolves bow. To me. Rowan tightens his grip on my hand, drawing me forward until we stand in the center of the circle. Cade appears from the front line, bruised and battered, but smiling through the pain. Good morning, Luna, he says, dipping his head. Heat rushes to my cheeks. Hi, I whisper back. You're alive? Barely, he laughs. Your mate made sure I didn't die of stupidity. Rowan shoots him a warning look. Cade clears his throat and steps back. The pack waits. Rowan turns to me, both hands lifting to cradle my face. His forehead touches mine. Soft, reverent, claiming without possession. When he speaks, his voice carries through the clearing like a vow. Mara Hale, he says. My mate, my equal, the one who broke the curse with her own hands. Do you accept the mantle of Luna of Ridgecrest? His breath warms my lips. The pack rustles with anticipation. I slide my hands up his wrist to the nape of his neck, pulling him closer. I do. The bond ignites, bright and full and complete. Rowan inhales sharply, as if the earth has just shifted beneath him. He lowers his lips to mine. The kiss is gentle at first, soft, trembling, full of everything we survived to reach this moment. But when I deepen it, when my fingers curl in his hair, a low primal sound rises from his chest. The pack howls, a rolling wave of sound, powerful and wild and full of joy, echoes across the valley. Rowan breaks the kiss only to press his mouth to my forehead, my cheek, my jaw. My Luna, he whispers. I tremble. My Alpha, I breathe back. Aftermath and new beginnings. We sit on the broken steps of the manor as the pack shifts and disperses, some heading to repair the damage, others to hunt, others just watching us with cautious respect. Cade brings blankets and food. Lena approaches, looking sheepish for the first time since I met her. Luna, she says, trying the word out. It sounds like she's swallowing her pride. We welcome you. I smile weakly. Thank you. Rowan arches a brow at her. That's all? She sighs. Fine. I misjudged her. Rowan smirks. That's progress. Lena rolls her eyes and stalks off. I lean my head on Rowan's shoulder. Is it always like this? I ask. He laughs softly. Not usually. Usually there's less collapsing buildings. And fewer attempts on my life, I add. Those too. He wraps an arm around me, drawing me closer. Tonight, he promises, we rest. Tomorrow, we rebuild. Together. My heart softens. Together, I echo. We fall quiet, watching the sun rise over the valley. The ruins of the council hall smolder in the distance. The forest glows gold. The air feels new. Rowan brushes a stray lock of hair behind my ear. What are you thinking? He murmurs. I lift my eyes to his. That I'm not scared anymore, I whisper. He exhales, long and soft, and presses a kiss to my temple. You never had to be, he says. Not with me. I thread my fingers through his. The bond settles between us, warm, full, unbreakable. The curse is gone. The council is broken. The pack bows to me, and Rowan Hale is no longer a dying prophecy. He is mine, and I am his. Not because destiny said so, because we chose it, together, always.